All right, welcome back to Run the Block. This is episode 13. Pay no attention to the currently empty cells. We'll deal with those later. Picking up where we left off, the crew has an objective that they are focused on, a job specifically from a up-and-comer of a fixer who some of them technically met in the prologue to this lead-up. Some of them have just met Papillo for the first time last session. With that being said, though, the gig is simple. At least it's on paper, it's simple. Stop a prisoner from being transferred out of Night City on the 21st, or they initially thought the 25th, but they learned it was the 21st of February, being transported out of Night City to the border to be transferred to NUSA control to be taken to Los Angeles. Okay, so obviously it's more complicated than that, but they've done some legwork, and they have a lot more information than they started off with. The main thing that I want to kind of highlight is I showed these lovely individuals some handouts, specifically data files that they got from the NCPD database. We talked about Spotlight, who is a former influencer from the time of the Red, kind of old hat individual who was charged with cyber terrorism and kidnapping. They were collected by Netwatch operatives, or he was collected by Netwatch operatives while driving a delivery truck for an unknown employer off the book. Netwatch determined he had undergone heavy psychological re-education through use of an exploit in his outdated neuroport, and was basically made to believe that he was a person named Jason Luke. His real name, not his handle, Spotlight, but his real name is James McCartney. And yeah, he had in the back of his truck while he was under strange implanted memory control, Angel Holt, who is the daughter of former Deputy Secretary Weldon Holt. This was experienced in a Dark Skies episode back in 2077. But yeah, he appears to be connected to, at least from what we understand, to G. Then a character we met for the first time here on site was Adrian Ellett, who is a former employee of Raven Microcybernetics. He was detained on notice of attempted market manipulation with Petrochem database information. Netwatch determined the efforts were related to known cyber terrorists' effort to destabilize NUSA markets for personal gain. Now, you'll note that these two, at least these two, are Netwatch arrests. They have been detained and held at Night City Prison, but they are not Night City Police Department prisoners, nor are they prisoners of any corporation that exists in Night City. Hence the reason for the transfer. The warrant that is present on this individual is an NUSA warrant, namely for attempting to manipulate markets and create an air of effectively cyber terrorism to kind of create an air of panic in the marketplace. Sedition is a charge that's placed on this individual, and that is more towards the Night City segment of his citizenship, in that he is trying to make Night City look bad. But because the initial charge, the actual primary charge, is NUSA related, apparently NCPD is forking him over to NUSA. And then last but not least, Ken Zero, who gets a very much bigger file, I guess. But okay, here we go. I don't know why it zoomed in like that. That was strange. But Ken Zero is also codenamed Silent Octopus, the name of this episode. And he is a full body conversion, is a Gemini, conversion, you'll note that he doesn't look like a regular person, a regular Japanese person, like I mentioned. The file in question that you have, this picture file, is from his actual arrest when he was reacquired. Um, Technically, he was supposed to be sent right back to Raven Microcybernetics, which is a Night City present um, corporation. They have their headquarters here. They're based out of here. They were one of the original kind of like bigwigs who helped build the city after the mafia tried to take control of those projects back in the 2000s, 1990s, etc. Anyway, point is that Ken Zero in his file does appear to have a very strange cybernetic look to him. Um, if Squints were here, what he would tell you is just based on what you were able to pull and what you're able to show him, it looks like these modifications that are on him were probably done after market. So he probably put the cyber eyes, the kind of MA resonance that he has on his eyes, and kind of the skull like, you know, guard over his mouth after he escaped from manufacture. And yeah, he's charged with corporate theft. Now, the reason why he is being sent to SoCal and NUSA, I just said that the corporation resides here, is because the actual funder of the Silent Octopus program isn't Raven Microcybernetics. They're just the people who are kind of putting the pieces together. The actual benefactor and the actual owner of this project is Kang Tao. Kang Tao is based out of China. So Night City has agreements with Kang Tao, but there are no extradition connections. So extradite to LA, extradite to China. Make sense? Okay. And then, yeah, last but not least, note and point of order. We discussed that he is being held at NC Prison, which we have highlighted. I have it marked with an actual marker, but I will in a minute. And then it is presumed that he will be taken from there just down the street, going southbound out of Santo Domingo on the 101 to the border. Okay. Any questions before we get started in earnest?
I did have a question on the handouts themselves.
Yeah.
There are listed for each of them. It's a hazard index. Could you explain that one?
Sure, certainly. So a hazard index on these files is typically a corporate hazard index. And what it means is that the individual has a physical hazard, which would be the first listing, like how much of a kind of hazard they would prove to be in physical circumstances. The second is a net architecture or kind of local net hazard. So what they have to do when it comes into regards of like how they operate around or near cybernetic computers, etc. And then the last one would be a social hazard. So if they were able to speak to media or get information out to the media, it could prove hazardous.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. So Spotlight is a pushover when it comes to physical. Might be able to do some damage on a computer and would absolutely be a chore to deal with once they get on like the phone with people.
Okay.
Adrianella could beat up Spotlight, and obviously Ken Zero is the problem.
Because when Kincaid met with Adrianella, he didn't seem particularly physically capable.
No, sure. 3 is not high at all. It's a scale of 10.
Okay. Okay.
I would say that Grip probably has a 7, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, to kind of give you an idea of where the scaling is.
I don't really have other questions, but I guess Kincaid and Leo would likely try to share that, especially with Grip, since he's our main connect to this new fixer Papillo.
Mm-hmm.
So I would try to, like, I trust Leo as far as like protecting information, protecting data, but try to keep these in like very private, if not personal, conversations.
I won't tell anyone.
Well, tell Griff.
I've already forgotten it all.
Tell no one.
I've already
Tell
forgotten
what?
everything. Can't tell anyone anything. You're gonna have to do it. Sorry.
God, such a trustworthy soul.
He did exactly what I told him to do, but just wrong. But just
Forget about this.
Make a hell of a cop.
Oh God, I can't give you inspiration. It's not a thing.
That's fine. I never.
It could be an extra point of luck.
No, fuck that. Fuck that.
Yeah, you can have a luck point back.
I'd keep breaking it.
Yeah. I have 99 luck. I'm going gambling.
But yeah, we'd want to.
He has that one moment where he just needs 20 luck. He's like,
Yeah.
I got it.
So we're either on the 14th or the 15th currently.
Should be on the 15th.
15th.
We're on the 15th currently, and the actual transfer is meant to take place on the 22nd at 6 a.m.
21st.
21st.
21st. Damn it! I was
So-
doing
sorry.
real well there.
Real quick update. They had pulled pork, mac and cheese, and brownies and water. They are currently doing rewards, and Chody will be here in about 20.
Nice.
Dre will be 16 on the 14th.
Dang. Okay.
Updates to our questions pregame. Sorry.
Thank you.
Those who are watching at home, those are the answers. I think one person in the audience was the one who wanted the answer to one of those questions, so that all worked out perfect.
Well, dang, just about a week away. Good for him.
Yeah, then he can drive legally. I think he went through all the classes already. Anyway, fucking people at home don't know what we're talking about. Focusing
I
on.
want pulled pork and mac and cheese. That's why our fixer's missing. He's having pulled pork and mac and cheese at a
God.
baseball party.
Damn it. They do have baseball in Cyberpunk, so there's actually a really horrific plot line in Phantom Liberty about it.
Is that what the stickball thing is?
Stickball's separate. Stickball's a little bit more
That's
like
its own thing. Okay.
it's like lacrosse and hockey had a baby.
Calvin ball.
Like if that's a real thing, yeah, I don't know sports.
Hockey had a baby.
I know what
Yeah, I
lacrosse
feel
is.
lucky.
So
Yeah,
that's what I'm
yeah.
guessing.
Calvin Ball is a real one. You should look that up after the game, John.
Sure, we'll do. Wait, is this
Hard set rules.
okay? This isn't like a Sonic inflation type thing, right?
Not that far, no.
Okay,
Not by any means. Not that far.
thank God.
It's a goof and a gag, but it's not that.
Got it.
Anyway, yeah. Transfers to be taking place in 6 days, the 21st, 6 a.m. All three of them together in a behemoth tank.
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Truck. It's an
Oh,
AC
Behemoth truck.
armored personnel carrier.
And we anticipate 2 combat-ready max tech, as well as a driver and gunner, is likely the escort squad.
Yeah.
Kincaid's looking for other avenues and wanting to gather more information on at least Spotlight
Okay. So yeah, he's got a
to
backlog.
see
what
what the situation is there.
Yeah, he's definitely got a backlog. So you're able to pull up like his past, stuff. He was very popular in the time of the Red. He had a gold-plated AK-47. He has like a very large following in that time, but seems to have kind of diminished over the past couple decades. He's you know who Logan Paul is and Jake Paul, those assholes.
I saw the drawing.
He's effectively them, but like on a much more niche kind of audience. They're very much more kind of apartment-ridden, like individuals who just kind of utilize their money to purchase stupid merchandise. It's possible the case that Leo was a fan of his, since he's a fan of the Sega Atari. He either really liked Spotlight or he really hated Spotlight. There's
The world
no.
may never know.
The world may never know. And I won't tell. Lexley shows up with an interrogation squad. What the fuck? What the?
Oh no.
Tell me if you liked him or not. No.
Yeah.
I did.
Total bro.
All right.
I don't know. I don't have much else to really go on. I sent. Oh boy, what was his name? Watterson? That was a nod, I think. Okay. He's going to try to get some information and keep an eye on Dr. Deepak.
Correct. He's got the CCTVs pulled, and he's going to be tracking the front door because it's in kind of a residence space, like a a commercial space. So like, there's a lot of NCPD security that's present there. So he's got a lot of body cam footage access, and he's got a lot of like closed circuit that he can run through.
Okay. Because Deepak is a good outlet for, if not Adrianella directly, although there is a connection point there. He's a good connection point to G if he is the one that's helping to at least kidnap people and possibly install whatever puppet cyberware it is.
This is a chip.
It seems perfectly likely that he's involved that far if he's kidnapping people for them or drugging people for them.
I say we send Slideshow to figure out the best spot to ambush this thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, let's have a little slideshow side adventure.
You send Slideshow on a side adventure. That happens.
Tell us where it is. Where's the best spot?
Don't worry about it.
How did he do?
He did so terrible.
He
He got shot up by 6th Street. Not joking. Not joking.
Um,
Oh no.
Yeah, after I make my rolls.
Did he leave any of his stuff? No, I'm just kidding.
We will discuss that matter off camera. Again,
Can you
oh, that's crazy.
draw
I
the
found
lines
his
again of
will
the
and Grips
path they're going to
listed
travel?
it.
that's like 3 different people talking at the same time. What was that?
My bad.
Yours was a bit, right, Zach?
Yes, mine was nothing.
Daniel, what were you saying?
Can you draw the lines again of the direction
Got
they're
it.
going to be traveling? I think I see it, but
You got it. I got it. Do. So they technically exit out here. And then it would be kind of like so. And then to there. And then boop. I believe there is an off ramp there, and I'll double check for future ref. I gotta finish the line to complete. Hold on. Sufficient. So they come out the front on the waterfront there. They'll take a left. They'll hang around. They'll kind of get onto. I have the name of the street. I don't know why it's not showing on that blue pip though. Bear with me here. To the back. MLK and Brandon. So that would be MLK is the straight. So they're basically going to be on MLK for the majority of that, and then they'll turn off onto the 101, but kind of side street and then onto the highway proper.
Ambush them out here in the flats.
Yeah,
In
so
anticipation.
Then we'll use the tunnels from the Rhea project to escape.
well, you do know about the tunnels for the Rhea project, so that is an interesting possibility. Well, let's discuss a couple of things though first. Are there any parts of the let's say the 15th we're doing reconnaissance in earnest, okay? Are there any parts of the stretch that you wish to know more about? The flats was mentioned. Is there any part of the flats that you would be more interested than others? Okay.
Out in the desert?
The in-town portion, what's traffic like at 6 a.m.?
Sure. At 6 a.m., it's going to be pretty busy into Night City. Out of Night City, it won't be as bad. It will change in actuality once you get down to the border. Like once you get down to, get down to 101. The 101 is packed both ways almost every day. The reason for that is just south of this location. Let me double check something here. Just south of where we're located is Arroyo, and then kind of a number of smaller like towns and cities that sit in between it and Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara acts as kind of like a gateway position for Los Angeles and Night City, and a lot of people who are leaving the NUSA to enter Night City are kind of doing so, but some people actually cross the border because they work on one side or the other, and have to kind of go through Border Patrol every day or seemingly every day. There are some prisons outside as well of Night City on the other side of the border. It's possible that that's where they'll be being held. But yeah, and also Border Patrol is very slow with its process. So the second that a little bit of a buildup persists, it magnifies like exponentially.
Roughly how long is that drive in the kind of traffic they'd anticipate at 6 a.m.?
On the 101, it would probably
Like their full route to the border.
Yeah, the full route to the border would probably take anywhere between 3 and 4 hours, depending 2.5 to 4 hours, depending on traffic. The 21st is February 2078. The 21st is a Monday, so it is likely that it is not going to be as busy, just because it'll mainly be people who are working, not as many kind of travelers. It's more picked up on the weekends and the latter half of the week.
I guess the question is, do we want to try to take them in the city or out of the city? In the city's probably a lot more confusion, a lot of stuff going on, and probably easier to leave, but also a lot more people.
And they're closer to reinforcements.
Surprisingly untrue. They're close to reinforcements regardless of where you hit them. I'll explain why. You've got the prison, which will have rapid response. You have the NCPD Highway Patrol, which is literally right... Where the fuck is that indicator? That's weird. It's on the other map. It's the only reason I had it. I had it on the other map because of it's never been brought up other than just his name. But it is right about, I want to say here or here. I can't remember exactly what building it is, but it's NCPD traffic or CHIPS, the Highway Patrol. Its main office is like right in Arroyo. And then Border Patrol. If Border Patrol gets a call out, then they can come out in AVs. They also have helicopters, attack helicopters, and attack air wings that they can scramble if need be. Now, in the city, Border Patrol is not going to be an issue. Outside the city, Border Patrol is going to be an issue. inside of the city, max attack's going to be an issue. Outside, max attack won't be an issue. So you kind of have a, do I want to get shot by missiles from an airplane flying over me at Mach whatever, or do I want to have an AV filled with 6 cyber psychos drop them out onto me and chase me all across the city? And again, that's if you go over a few minutes in your location. It's highly unlikely that they're going to be on you outside of a couple minutes.
Any thoughts, anyone?
I don't know, can you see if you can get more information from the police department? Like, what is the standard loadout for a max tech officer?
Well, you have these 2 loadouts specifically. So, and technically you have the 2 max tech officers' names. Let me go ahead and get you that info. Bear with me here.
Do they have families?
Who cares? Honestly, they wouldn't.
I do.
You could murder them all the live long day.
No, I can kidnap them and say, "Hey, you're just gonna leave this guy sitting somewhere, or else little Jimmy's not going to school today."
So there is John Eldon, who is a melee combat specialist. When it comes to max attack, they typically have designators as to what function they serve in combat. Melee combat specialists will be armed with some sort of like gorilla arms, mantis blades, wolvers, other power weapons. The individual John Eldon, you would note, is armed with a highly powered pop-up shotgun in his left arm. In his right arm, a magnetic punching hammer, which basically he's replaced the top portion of his arm with like a railgun that shoots his fist out like a good 3 inches.
Big O.
Yeah. Big O, exactly. And then he is also equipped with an NUSA thermal katana. The other individual that will be present with him is Lisa Stan, and she is a net runner. So she is equipped with military grade ice. She is also like better than just normal max attack self ice, which is the 3 up, and then a booster that makes their DVs harder to break for their pass walls. The DV to break their pass walls is 12 instead of 10, I believe, is the normal standard. But she's equipped with 5 pass walls in their military grade setup, and then she has an ice regenerator, which means that if she is broken into, she can use her action to just reset her pass walls.
Well, I'm not necessarily in favor of a hostile taking of Max Tech's quarry here. I'm not saying I have any.
Love.
No, I'm not saying I have any like alternate routes thought up yet, but I'd love to explore some.
Sure.
As far as
Does,
if we have to do this,
does the fixer Papilo have a file?
Oh, again, you didn't mention that at the time, but if you're wanting to try and library search him, you can library search Papio. Yeah, I'd say let the netrunner or ask the netrunner to do it because he's probably better at it.
Let's say, let me do it.
or are we still in the? Where are we
Oh,
now?
we have
while
left the
we're discussing this?
NCPD. It is
We've
the-
left NCPD, so we're not in the
Yeah.
system.
My assumption is it's the 15th, and what we're doing is we've gone to, let's say,
We're at a diner.
or Red Tail's clinic, somewhere quiet, somewhere
Okay.
like easy to kind of set up in, and you've got Leo with a laptop computer opened, CyberDeck connected to it, and he's kind of pulling up like Google or whatever the equivalent of Google is. I can't remember the name of it. Maps, and he's like showing you like the map you're looking at in front of you. He's drawn out the route, and he's kind of going through like satellite imagery of the locations as you kind of discuss where's good, where's bad. And then as you're having that conversation, that's kind of where you're at.
How hard is it to hack into streetlights?
So
in that city?
municipal stuff is kind of difficult. You're going to not hack into one specific streetlight. You're going to hack into a network of them, which means you'd have to shut off a grouping of them. And without being on site to check that, you wouldn't know what you're turning off and what you're, kind of playing with when it comes to security there too.
Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta act like you belong. Put on the orange vest and the hard hat and go hack into it. Oops.
Oh, I can do that. I personally think in city would probably be a little bit better. A lot more avenues for us to escape, not someone flying behind us while we're out in the desert.
It would be in 6th Street territory. We're not necessarily unfriendly to them, but I don't imagine they owe us any favors.
So,
Considering Hungary just called in a favor, and we're also without Hungary now.
thanks to the magic of the internet and also the magic of science, I know exactly when sunrise is expected to happen on February 21st, 2078. Simply by Googling sunrise February 21st, 2078, Morro Bay. And it would rise at 6:42 a.m., which means that in its route, it will probably be just getting onto the 101 at that point. So you have darkness.
As sun is rising.
Yeah, you'd have darkness all throughout, and then you'd have kind of like tangential like light of the sun, depending on the weather too. I can't tell you that. It's not that good. But so far as to say, it has been a little spotty. If you look at like the 10-day forecast on like N54 or whatever, it would probably say that the rain and the kind of overcast nature of the week will go away on the 17th, and it'll be kind of a bit more sunny but breezy. But yeah, you'd probably have like light, like dark light, but not like super light up until they kind of like make their way a little bit deeper into the 101. It's going to be a bit slow going as they kind of make their way out of the city at that time. So they probably won't be out of the city until like 8:30, and that's like when I say out of the city, I mean like here-ish. Like here-ish.
What do you think, Rip? Boo.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
Mm,
I don't have a good thought on this one.
Do you want to fight Max Stack? I guess would be the main question. No or yeah?
I guess my vote would be no.
Yeah.
Let's give this guy his money back and say, we ain't doing this.
You can.
You're on your own.
You can tell him to go fuck himself. That's absolutely an option.
Well, the investment isn't from Papillo. The investment is Adrian Ella and his connection to G.
Right.
So to lose that would not be great.
And it does seem that this spotlight individual has a connection to G as well. So 2 of the 3 are G connected.
Yeah. Outside of that, I wouldn't hate shaking down Dr. Deepak. Would Foxen know who Deepak is? Or do you have any
No,
I don't know. I don't know if there's like a convention
no.
for weird illegal doctors.
Ripper,
Medical convention.
well, river docs aren't always illegal, but
Sounds like a
But these two
great
are.
way for like
These two are criminal
all of the
doctors.
I
is
am
what I'm saying.
above board, thank you very much. I am certified.
we are. Oh God.
Sure.
Oh God. There's a medical term in California for this. It's a really funny joke, but nobody who's outside of insurance or medical is gonna know what the fuck I'm saying. I just can't remember the. Oh my God, what's it called? California doctor groups called what? Fuck you, internet. You did me wrong. Alright, well, now it's baby cat time.
Do we think that Papillo would have any insight regarding the information if we were to report it to him? Because really all he asked for was find out when they're taking him.
I'd like to know about this terrorist cell that he's being apparently attached to, or Adrian's being attached to anyway. But
Was there an actual organization?
I don't know. It's in the file.
I didn't read it.
You
Oh.
got the file and you didn't.
I
out.
famously skim.
Who are we talking about? Who's connected to what?
In your scream sheet, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
The police.
you
file.
linked Adrian to a terrorist cell.
yeah, I sure did.
I would like to know more about them.
Cool. What do you want to know?
Who are they, for one? I have no idea.
Okay. So the terror cell in question is known as the Iron Hand. So the Iron Hand is a group that is highly, highly secretive, and there are two known events. I'm kind of raising my two over the cat here. There are two events that they are known for having been a part of, but their goals and what they are attempting to do in these efforts are unknown. The Iron Hand are a group that were responsible for a group of black AVs coming into the Corpo Center and attacking Kang Tao's building, specifically the top of the building, on November 18th or 20th, 2077. It was a very large event. One of the AVs was downed, but the other two escaped. No one knows what happened that day other than 3 AVs came out of nowhere and basically went toe-to-toe with Kang Tao's anti-air. The other event where a group of 3 black AVs chased an AV and a bus in Charter Hill. This was also last year in the month of November, latter November, and apparently were responsible for the abducting of one Angel Holt.
And that is the former mayor's daughter.
Correct.
Oh, this is the event that
Well,
he's
he died
being
on my
accused of.
operating table.
The event that he's being accused of is that he is in league with the Iron Hand. Yeah.
Okay.
He's,
Okay.
It's Spotlight, who is the one who is responsible of having Angel Holt in his truck after that attack and driving her to an unknown location with strange cyberware in the back and Netwatch basically pinning him.
Was there a date for that event with the mayor's daughter?
I can figure it out. Hold on. I know it's in November. Dark Skies. Actually,
Would it have been this past November? Is what I'm asking.
yeah.
Like how
2077.
recently? Okay.
2077, yeah.
Pretty sure that was the one where Alex brought
Yeah, it was
her
Alex's
to my
first.
clinic,
It
right?
was Alex's
And
first
she
game.
died.
Yeah, brought her to Red Tail's clinic, and Red Tail tried to save her, and she died. Correct.
What if we crash a dump truck into them or a garbage truck somewhere and then just take them right there, like at this intersection here?
You have a dump truck?
They're everywhere. You can get a dump truck. Not gonna
You
be
get a lot of them.
armed.
How you gonna get
You
them
can
out?
walk up to a dump truck driver and say, "Give me your dump truck." They'll just walk away.
The attack was on the night of November 23rd, and the Angel Holt being recovered was on November 24th.
Would we know anything about the current like holding situation for Adrianella?
Adrianella is in NC prison and is in an isolated chamber, which is basically, those sensory deprivation chambers that they have that you can go
Yeah.
into. It's one of those.
So he's in like a solitary
A
tank
very
somewhere.
horrifying solitary, correct?
Right.
No visitors, I assume.
No visitors at all. No.
No, not even a fake lawyer.
Right.
That's
Have
fucked up.
you met many lawyers in this city?
Honestly, I have been waiting for someone to ask that question and want to play one. And
No, I get it.
You're right, John. My
They're
next character
corpos.
is gonna be a lawyer who's gonna be Sal Goodman.
Exclusively like corporate law,
You-
the contract lawyers.
you
right?
want to be a
It's-
bloodsucker? Like that's you want to be a murderous fucking edge runner? Best way to do it would be a liar. Kill them and then let them take the rap for it. Could you pull some strings to get into Night City Prison? Yeah. Will it show
Potentially.
up on the radar?
Oh yeah, that's
You
that's
bet.
what I'm worried about. Is I'm gonna be
Your head will be up. at
I'm
that
gonna be
point.
found out,
I mean, you've had
especially if
combat
I've
with him
already been
before.
flagged for searching or poking my nose in already.
Well, no, because remember, Leo was able to disco before you guys got tagged for that, so we're good.
No, but I did ask.
Mitchell?
You asked Bart.
I asked
Bart
Mitchell,
rather
and
about-
I asked Redtail to talk to Bart about it.
Yeah, and Bart said
So
no,
chances are very good that somebody's onto the fact that I'm interested in this.
or at least curious, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair to assume. It's wrong, but it's fair to assume.
I mean, we were trying to investigate some more. We could go to Adrian's house, see if we could find something.
Yeah,
Probably been turned inside out, but we can look.
he has a corporate apartment.
I would have his address.
Yeah, he has a corporate apartment. It's in Corpo Center.
Similar situation if I'm like seen going there, but at the same time, it would seem just as odd if I weren't interested.
Yeah.
If I'd already shown interest whatsoever.
More than fair.
But yeah, that is a very good point. I would want to check out his apartment.
Okay, you taking anyone with you, or is it just you solo?
I'll go with him.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind having Leo around. If everybody wants to go, everybody can go. It's probably more of a sore thumb situation. But I don't want to get in a fight and the rest of the party not to get involved. So yeah,
There we go.
volunteers.
You and
however
Leo
wanna do it.
go. Me and we will stand watch. We're there, but we're not there. We're not with you.
Adrianella's apartment, was it in Haywood or was it further in like the
I
corporate
just
circle?
tagged it.
Oh, okay.
Not too far from Deepox. It's probably why he went to the Ripper.
I would share the address with them and let them know I am headed there.
Okay, you let Grip know as well, because Grip can also do shit. I mean, like,
Yeah.
we.
I'm not saying like we're all going to investigate. I'm saying like if you guys want to take a look around as well,
Yeah.
have a non-cop perspective on things.
Oh, sorry, Shiro had to turn around, you guys. This is the other side.
Oh, now we see the top left corner.
Yeah. He's so clean looking on this goddamn camera. Like,
Is it not really clean?
no, so he is really clean, but like the way his fur sits, it's got like shadows to it, and so he looks more like, I don't know. He looks more like he looks more creamy and not so like blanco, you know.
Hmm.
He's like
His name
he's
is
like
Blanco.
radiant white, and see there you can kind of see it like when I tip him, like he's got these kind of like clovey kind of patterns.
You see the panic in his eyes, yeah.
He has panic in his eyes. I don't think he's panicking. He's
He
kind
was
of,
for the moment
was.
that you picked him up.
I don't believe you, and I'm not.
Oh,
Gonna,
okay, yeah, no. He felt nothing but love,
Yeah, and adoration.
love and certainty.
My
Oh,
dad's
but-
picking
That's
me
what
up.
that look was.
Yay!
Yippee! But yeah, I'll announce that I'm going to that location. We'll say mid-afternoon on the 15th.
Sounds good.
If anyone wants to tag along or do some side shit while that's happening. What are you
Anyway,
guys up to?
I can tag along if you want.
okay. Crypt, do you want to do recon on the apartment building before you go into it and like kind of check it out?
Yeah, always.
Kind of walking around, you can see that there's a pretty decent amount of NCPD patrol officers kind of walking around street level.
Okay.
What you would notice is that the way that the building sits, it's kind of lower to ground level than a lot of the buildings around it. The building that it's near, like just up the street, you have Biotechnica Hotel, you have the Thornton main office, Thornton being a car company, and a lot of kind of like notable buildings. And the N54 logo, I would say from street level, is pretty prominent, like over on the N54 buildings south side. Like there's just a massive.
Okay, it's not me. John is definitely having some kind of issue.
Oh, am I?
Yeah,
You're getting a little
cutting in
spotty.
and out. We missed like maybe a quarter of that.
How do I sound right now?
Perfect right now.
Okay, let me recite again. The apartment is the entrance to the apartment is on ground level. It is not a very tall building compared to the buildings that are around it. It sightline wise is right underneath the highway, like the main bridge that goes into city center from Watson. Because this here, like you can see this like road, it actually snakes around underneath some of these buildings and ends up here-ish. And the same is true of this building. This bridge is actually double stacked, so the top and the bottom, like it's like two bridges. One kind of hits the north side of the corporate center, and one hits the eastern side of it, or western side of it. But you're on ground level, so a lot of that's above you. There is an overpass nearby that will connect to the road, but it's kind of a little ways down. And from what you can tell, the area you're in is heavily patrolled by police officers. You've got a couple of big corporate buildings to the west of you, like Biotechnica Hotel. N54, their south side sign on their building is massive, and you can see it kind of glowing red and yellow from here. But just south of you, like directly underneath the highway, there is an overpass area and like a bunch of like trash, clutter, more kind of in line with what you would kind of see in spaces like this in the Glen. It is basically like hovel area where a lot of homeless people are kind of present, and like the forgotten people of Night City are just struggling to kind of make their lives do something. Yeah, the apartment building's probably about 10 stories high, so not terribly big compared to what we're looking at. And it is a Conapt, which means that it is a corporate-controlled apartment building. It appears to be controlled by Raven Microcybernetics. You feel like you could get into it with relative ease if you can gain access to any of the buildings nearby simply by kind of doing the tick across the rooftops.
And I imagine getting to the rooftop of a hotel is pretty easy, right?
Biotechnical Hotel would be a bit of a problem.
Okay.
It's corporate space, but there are spaces nearby. Go ahead and make a streetwise roll for me. Streetwise is under education or social.
Social. That's what it is.
Yeah, so that's accessible enough. You, with a 14, you've been in Night City enough to know that the building just near there, that's kind of overlooking the overpass, that has a number of kind of connected like skywalks and locations that are kind of more hoity-toity spaces, but there are service entrances. And you feel like there won't be a lot of security blocking you from getting up to the 10th level of these kind of sections and kind of making your way across these skywalks to get to the buildings adjacent to the Connet. Kincaid, when you arrive on the scene, you are going to just kind of go the more direct.
I will relay all of that to...
In text?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get a text, Kincaid, as you're kind of making your way to that space. You sent your text a while ago, drove up, found parking. It would be a parking garage. It'll probably run you about 25 eddies for the hour. You can throw down 50 if you want to just leave it there.
Throw down 50 for 2.
Oh, no, it's for the day. 50 for the day, 25 for an hour.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Because it's not busy season. But so you kind of are walking towards the apartment, probably about halfway there when you get the text from Grip saying, giving you the details we just outlined. Redtail, did you make your way to the location as well?
Sure.
Okay. Since you're coming from the south side, the Glen, and we're taking public transportation, the presumption is that you'll basically be arriving there maybe 5 or 10 minutes after everybody.
Right here.
Yeah, you're almost there. And then Leo, similarly, since you're coming from the Glen, the mega building, you'd probably be arriving soon too if you're showing up.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So Kincaid, you're going the direct route. Do you want to just march right in, or do you want to wait for your crew?
I'll wait for him. You said there was a lot of police presence.
Yep. So yeah, a lot of NCPD patrol officers are kind of walking about. There's one place where there appears to be kind of like a larger amount of security, and that would be down the block a bit, underneath the highway to the west. This is Biotechnica Hotel, like right here. And basically right outside they have what appears to be 4 Kang Tao security operatives and a massive, I believe they're called Minotaurs? Let me double check. Cyberpunk Mech 2077 Minotaurs. Yeah, and I'll post a picture of that here in a second. But some of you probably know what they look like. Your character definitely knows what this looks like.
Is it as cool as I hope it is?
I don't know. Does that look cool?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
The Minotaur is a Militech designed bipedal robot. It has 2 heavy machine guns on its mounting. It has basically the same functional operation as an Ed 209 if you're familiar with the RoboCop series.
Yeah, it looked awful RoboCop.
Yeah, it looks like
hopefully the pilot doesn't have a grenade on him.
There is no pilot.
It is a fully a robot.
It is fully a robot. It is not a mech. Yeah.
Okay. I guess
That's cool. I want one.
I'd ask, one of the patrolmen what's going on.
Huh?
If there's that kind of a presence going on.
Oh, do you have your badge out?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not from around here, deputy, or you're not from around here, detective. We have a lot of people out around this area because some folks kind of stir up some problems for the local residents. How do we say it? Riffraff kind of stumble a bit north when they're not supposed to. So we are on site during the day and the night, just to make sure that the peace is kept.
Show of force to keep the poison line, huh?
Nods his head with like a bit of like it's an almost sardonic smile.
Well, as you were, just curious, making sure I shouldn't be reaching for my gun.
Oh, no problem. I mean, keep it handy. He would say, and when he says that, he kind of like
I'll do like a little finger spin and put it back in.
he kind of pulls his like shirt down a little. That's the most skin I think I've ever shown on this. But he shows a little bit of his.
No, it's not.
He shows a little bit of his neck, and you can see there's like a bullet scar, like he got winged. And he says, like when he does that when he says, "Keep it handy," kind of like
Be safe.
alluding to, everybody get shot. Okay, so
We also invited Squints,
yes.
so that's clear.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
He rode in with me.
And Chody, just let me know when you pop into Zoom.
Clicking it right now.
Oh,
I did.
Perfect.
Sorry, I was trying to hurry. Apologize, guys. Family first. Sorry.
You
No,
gave us a
you're
warning.
totally chill.
You're good. You sent a message. You're good.
Yeah, unlike others.
I just hate doing it that late in the day.
Let's not be catty.
Let's not be catty. All right. I just have to reposition everybody. Lucky Daniel's in the right spot. This goes like that.
I like telling people like a week before at least. So
Yeah,
day of
we were
bugs
talking
me.
about earlier. We're currently meeting at the apartment of Adrian Ella, who is the prisoner that is to be transported in a little less than a week. We're going to check out his apartment to see if we can glean anything from that.
okay.
We saw a cool robot across the street. That's why that picture's there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Militech Minotaur. Okay.
There were a couple of those, right?
I
Just
bet
the
we could
one.
bust them out if we stole that.
There's 4 Kangtao security operatives and the Militech Minotaur. It is not police line, it's Kangtao line. So it's got like orange patterning on the side. It's kind of cool looking. I think we're getting hit by a storm. I
Yeah,
I
we are
believe
here.
thunderstorms should be starting in Indy area
Yeah.
very shortly.
Okay, so heads up to those
A
watching.
quiet start this morning.
Oh shit, I just hit the news and it said, I'm gonna yell at
Run
honest.
away!
Instead of flash flood, please leave.
No, we're not gonna flash flood.
I'm just saying.
We are right by the Fall Creek, but it has a lot of precautionary measures. Also, I'm on the 2nd floor, so I mean, worst case scenario, just climb to the roof.
Worst case scenario, your house floats away.
Yeah.
You moved?
Huh?
You moved since I saw you?
When did you see me last?
He has 2
I came with Dan.
stories.
When did you come with Dan?
Was that around the funeral? He was around the funeral, but it's
No.
neither here nor there.
I have 2 stories in this apartment. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay. You said you're on the 2nd story.
I
was
am
like, what?
currently on the 2nd story. Yeah, I have 2. I have 2
Oh,
floors.
the 2-story apartment. Got it.
Yeah, my office is.
So all the stuff downstairs is going to be fucking ruined, but up here he's safe.
It's all my wife's shit. I don't give a fuck.
okay.
Anyway. No, most of our stuff's in the bedroom. It's fine. We're all good. So, what did you miss? Not much. They are still doing some research, and they are now going to Adrian Ella's apartment to investigate. God damn, it is coming down hard.
Alright, so we all show up.
Yeah. You, Kincaid, you got your crew. Squints, Redtail, and Leo. And the presumption is that Grip is already moving towards entering the building. Is that fair to say, Grip?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Were we all doing rooftop, or was that just a Grip thing?
That was just a Grip thing.
Red tail messages grip like question mark entrance where
Which rooftop did I go up again? Sorry.
So you would have
You said
gone.
you were over here somewhere.
Again, as far as a
Yeah.
path goes, it's probably not something you want to throw out on text, because yeah, it's just it's convoluted.
So I can just reply back like, try front door.
Look for cop.
Look for cop? Okay. Like I'm
Follow-
lost. Like,
follow
I don't know
cop.
where the fucking door's at. Where's the door at this fucking place?
Kincaid's not difficult to spot in a crowd.
Okay, we go in.
Okay, so when you enter into the lobby, it is kind of red light, black walls with kind of like a high kind of cyberpunk neo-militaristic vibe. There are some kind of ornate features, and there's a very massive painting on the right side wall when you enter. It's kind of like a gold paint that seems to create a negative space in the middle that is the shape of a raven, wings spread, kind of like looks like it's flying upwards. Very nouveau riche kind of like artistic stylings. And then on the left side, there is a reception desk. There is a woman standing behind the desk. Her skin appears to be gold plated as well. She's wearing a very fancy, simple kind of uniform, kind of gray and like white pinstripe or silver kind of pinstripe. And she looks at you as you enter and she says, "Hello, welcome to Raven Apartments. Is there anything I can assist you with?"
Good afternoon, miss. Here with NCPD to collect mail and any other I don't know the term for like things left behind by a current prisoner.
Current policy for the corporation is that you leave your name and badge number at the desk. And once I have that and I'm able to input that into the system, I'll go ahead and relinquish any information you request.
Absolutely. And I'll write down Bart Jarvis's
Okay.
information.
Go ahead and do me a favor and roll me a education roll to see if you remember Bart Jarvis's badge number, without having to look it up and very clearly out yourself. Education is under education.
Yes.
Checks out.
I will spend 1 luck.
Okay. All right, so 15.
14 becomes a 15.
Yeah, 13 was what I needed, so more than
Ah.
enough.
No, you don't have to
Wait,
because we have a rocker, so
No.
you can do it after.
He said he spent it.
Oh wait, is it that we can spend it after the fact with a rocker?
Yeah, you can do
Oh.
it after. That's the benefit of having rockers. That's why everybody wants them. I'll let you not have spent it just to
Sick.
move it right along.
I won't do it again.
Totally fine. And again, the residual rocker only lasts up until we find exactly. So moving it in, you leave Jarvis's badge number and his name, and she takes it. She says, "Thank you so much," and then you are handed a couple of packages, 2 packages to be precise, and a bundle of mail that looks like it's been done up in a rubber band.
Okay.
Probably about 11 documents present. She would hand that over and say, "That's it."
Outstanding. Thank you so much. Are there any officers present to search the
Oh no,
search the former dwelling?
the dwelling has already been repurposed. It was a very quick turnaround time. It appears that NetWatch was involved, and they had to do some modifications to our net architecture due to the breach. But corporate Raven stated that it was fine, and we allowed the individuals to follow through with their processes. But yeah, the apartment's already set up to be rented out. I believe the new tenant will be entering in on the 21st.
Would it be too much trouble for me to have a quick look inside?
Well, I suppose not. if you absolutely need to, but everything that was of the individual's possession has already been relinquished to NCPD.
Understood. Call it a hunch, call it anxiety. When you work for Sin, as long as I have, you really want to go over things with a fine-tooth comb.
She hands over a small data card, like a plastic card.
Card key.
Yeah, it doesn't like slide into anything. It's RFID, so you just walk up to it and it'll open for you. But yeah, she hands that over.
I'll slip her $50.
She says, "No gratuity
So much.
required." She pushes
Oh.
it back to you.
Well, thank you again for your time, miss.
Mm-hmm. And you look at the card, and it says that the number on it is 999, which would tell you that it's on floor 9, and it's the 99th apartment.
I will head in that direction.
Okay. The elevators, with the card, when you enter in, you'd see that the floors that are available to you and your crew are floor 1, which you're on, and floor 9, which is the 9th story there. And nothing else is available to you. You then
Fair.
head on up. Grip, you are on the roof of the building, and you are able to enter into the space at your pleasure. However, before you do, I'd like you to make a perception roll. Okay. So with a 12, you're kind of looking around casually, but you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. You walk over to the door, give it kind of a, look over, and then realize it's going to be, a bit of a secure door, but not like so secure you can't get through it. Fingers in, pull, adjust, and the door is open for you, no problem. They slide shut behind you with a kind of meaty thunk, and you make your way into the space. Do you want to go anywhere in specific? Are you checking with them to see where to go?
Yeah, Kincaid gets a silent message. Floor question, room question.
You would receive this just as you're walking towards the elevator and about to get in.
I wouldn't know how to code this exactly. Have access, 9th floor, 99.
Cool.
Okay.
And I'll make my way that way.
So when you get to the top of, or when you get to the bottom of the steps, and once you eventually arrive at the elevator point, which would probably be not contemporaneous, but close.
And I also specifically want to try and leave all the doors propped a little bit so that it's an easy escape up through the roof.
Sure. Absolutely doable. But it is not, you're not entering into a space that's very easy to kind of, it's a little bit more like a hotel than an apartment. I don't know if you've ever been in a hotel where there's like 4 different pathways and each pathway has so many apartments in it, kind of cross-sectioned, cross-gridded. And then it looks like each of those passageways at the end tees off and then probably has apartments along the exchanges, like in the centers. Floor on the floor, it looks like 99 is basically the back left corner. So that would be the northwestern facing corner apartment. For you, Daniel, a couple of points and one retroactive point. The retroactive point first for chronological, order's sake, there is a security camera in the foyer, the lobby. Do you want to toy with that before you leave and kind of make sure that your documentation of you present here is gone?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, go ahead and make an interface roll. Okay, so when you hack into the camera, what you'll notice is it does appear that the net architecture that it is a part of appears to be held by Netwatch, and your attempt to backdoor is +2 because of worm, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Okay. You're not able to access the net architecture. The DB is 13. So you realize that they upgraded their security measures, and they're pretty tough. So unfortunately, you won't be able to get into the camera on this one. Unless you want to spend some luck. 2 points would be required for you to get the bonus, or get through.
Nah.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of realize that there will be at least recorded evidence, visual evidence of you and your crew, except for Grip being present here. And you'd make Kincaid aware of that in the elevator. There is no camera in the elevator, other than a small little, like on the terminal pad, there's a camera, ocular device, but it is not open. Like the lenses are kind of shut. It's for emergencies only. Like it'll open up and they'll be able to kind of see who's on board if there's an emergency situation. But yeah, back corner apartment. And when you arrive there,
I'm.
And it opens up inside apartment. It is a very simple but high roofed looking apartment space, probably about 15-foot high ceilings. There looks like there is plenty of shelf space, and it's very elegantly kind of organized with galvanized steel structures kind of supporting it. Looks like there's a little bit of a balcony outside, but everything that you can see, it basically looks like it's been completely kind of cleaned and done over. And what Kincaid, Grip, Leo, Squints, probably not so much, and maybe Redtail, just depends on his apartment hopping during his 20s and 30s. But it looks like that whoever did the job obviously did it in a very landlordian fashion. Looks like there are cockroaches in some places that are kind of like inside of the paint. It looks like there is a noticeable kind of like splotching on the like light strips, like where you kind of Jody's looking at me like I'm curious. In cityscapes, like big cities, when you rent an apartment and they're getting the apartment ready for you, they don't exactly take a bunch of care into performing those tasks. So in some cases, bugs will get caught in the paint job, or
You'll see a mummified fly.
Yeah.
You'll see entire like electrical outlets that have just been paint rollered over.
It very much looks like that is what has happened here. It looks like they have made the apartment ready for whoever's going to get into it. It has the allure and kind of like the structure of kind of like a little bit more of a nicer abode than most places in the city, like especially mega building dwellers. And definitely Squints, who lives in a brick and mortar spot on the waterfront. But yeah, it definitely doesn't have the care that real corporate people would have in their space. There are no cameras along the way. However, inside, strangely enough, there is a camera.
Inside the apartment.
Yes, a security.
Is it pointed right at the door?
It's basically like the door kind of has like a little hallway that leads to the larger section, and inside of that space, kind of pointed directly at the door, is the camera.
Okay. Well, I'll open the door like it's nothing. At this point, it would be suspicious if she let me in against her. Otherwise, like against her wishes, and then that camera feed is gone. So
Do you try to hack
yeah,
it,
I'm just going inside.
No.
Okay. Not even just checking its net architecture or anything?
Do your thing, man, if you want to.
Yeah, well.
It
You
does
gotta
not
stop the hacker from hacking.
It does not have a net architecture. When you look at the camera again, you kind of do like a double take, and you realize it is an actual, just generic, closed-circuit television camera, literally plugged into a box that appears to be inside of the main room, attached to a wire, and it's the only thing in the entire space that's present. This old-style recording box. With the big-ass fucking Megatrack VHS-style, like, tapes that record 24 hours and then they need to be changed.
Yeah. Can I go review that?
It does not have
Is there
a.
anything else on it?
There's no viewing screen. There is no player for the tape. There is just the tape. And I am guaranteeing with my entire heart, even the tech doesn't have a device that would allow you to play the tape in question on a viewing screen. Unless he's a really huge fan of like old style VHS cassettes. Like I'm talking
HD DVD.
Yeah, it's like
beta.
No, this is like 2010s like technology, 2000s in Cyberpunk, which was based on like the 80s, 90s.
A laser disc.
It's not
laser disc.
It's not even a disc. No, it is a full ass.
But it's like
tape.
it's a futuristic laser disc. That's what we're saying.
Right, but it's on tape.
That was
though.
top of the line in the late 80s.
But it's a tape though.
Okay, fine, it's a tape.
It's a tape, damn it.
It's a laser tape.
The laser tape. Oh shit, we just made up laser tapes, you guys.
There you go. Add it to your
There you
wiki.
go.
I'm doing it right now.
Laser tapes.
This is odd.
Well, you're cyber hipsters.
Yeah.
Do we spell laser the proper way or L-A-Z-E?
No, it's got a Z in there. It's got a
That is
fucking
the
Z in
proper
there.
way. This is Cyberpunk.
That's the way I spelled my business.
Laser tapes.
So you know he has a laser tape player at least in his apartment somewhere.
Media storage that came after the VHS tape.
They're like 3 feet wide.
Save. No. They're like just.
I want him to be huge.
They're like okay, so like the same.
They're
size.
still the same like width or
Yeah.
length.
Well, I want them to be like. So you're saying like this,
Like,
at the same height and width. Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm on board again. You have to
Four
you have to
around.
slide it into the thing.
It's like a buddy lift situation when you need to change tape.
Oh no! To keep it more like Laserdisc, because remember Laserdisc, they came in like the big ass like the case, right?
The
They have
cool vinyl.
Well, it's like a plastic case, and you inserted that into the Laserdisc player, and it actually extracted the disc from the plastic case, and then you'd pull the plastic case away. So it's that, but it pulls out the tape and puts it onto the head. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's great. Love it.
It's a super delicate thing.
You can take that Artel Saurian or CD Projekt Red. Enjoy. Yeah, that's for you. Laser tapes. I cannot.
Yeah, Leo and Squints could fuck with the laser tape.
Sure. Playing it will be impossible in this venue. Obviously, there's no player. Okay, you're looking at me. Do you want to try and somehow reverse engineer the current player? And
Really good at this stuff.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm gonna require a basic tech. No, photo film, tech roll, and I need a DV23.
Oh, that's not it. Come on. I'm not gonna make it. Don't worry about it then.
You want to spend
I can't make that. If it was basic tech, I could.
No, it wouldn't be basic tech. It would be photo film because you're fucking with the film.
All right, fine. I won't. It's not film. It's laser.
It's laser tapes.
It's tape.
Laser's not basic tech anyway. Laser's cyber tech.
I can do that too. That's fine.
You're like, I'm also good at cyber tech.
Yep. Those two things I'm really good at.
Perfection. But no, yeah, you believe that you have an old player for laser tapes that you could, get a hold of out of your garage or out of your kind of workspace. Just not here.
LCR.
Do you pull the tape though?
Me? Yeah. No. If I feel like I can do something to help, absolutely. Yeah.
So when you
100%.
pull the tape, both Leo and Squints are going to look at it and probably look at each other. On the center, because again, laser tape, it's a little bit wider, right? In the center, kind of on the flat panel, they have the raised ridge area, and there's the flat panel where you'd plaster a label. So that label, it's there, and it's the NetWatch logo.
Is that piece pushed in so you can't tape over it?
Yes.
All
Wait,
right,
no,
cool.
no, it wouldn't be because they're taping. My brain's dumb. No, it's definitely it was a blank when they shoved it in there. And from what you can tell, it looks like you probably arrived here around what 12, 30, 1 o'clock during the day.
Sure, 1 o'clock.
Because you have the stuff that you were doing in the morning at the police station. So we'll say that it looks like it's about halfway full. So someone's coming in and manually changing this.
In about 12 hours.
Yeah.
So we probably want to bring that back into this place in that 12 hours if we want to not have worries. Just throwing that out there. Out of character. Kincaid's gonna have a look around, I guess.
Yeah. If you're kind of searching and looking, perception's fine.
Perception.
Goddamn.
33.
So you are seeing the world differently than everyone else. Like, obviously there are the measures that have been implemented by the maintenance team to try and make it look as new as possible. But even despite that, you can see kind of residual effects of a person having lived here for a while. You know where the couch was seated. You know where the TV stand was seated. You can see that on the ceiling there's connections for Braindance, computer that appear to have been removed and is no longer present. In the kitchen, just kind of looking at the space, you can tell that this person was a very big fan of, burrito XXLs. Like, there's just like small little pieces of like foil here and there. You just understand a lot more about the person's life than everyone else. And the one thing that kind of you look into that most people who are kind of dealing with the laser tape recorder or kind of just maneuvering around the space don't really take into account is you kind of move towards the bedroom and then to the ensuite bathroom. And once in that space, you see that painted over, the fan up on the ceiling, right? You can see that it's been painted. Like, they painted the edges and they totally fucked up. They didn't have the painting tape. But you also notice that there's this very slight drop in it. Like it's been removed before.
Do you want conceal or reveal, or do you want me to just take whatever that is? Like, unhook the thing?
You go up there, you grab a hold of it, kind of put your fingernails in there, pull down as hard as you can, and it drops down this section. The fan, the kind of connective points to the fan that cause the kind of air to draw upwards, and then seated on that is the battery kind of like pack, so that if electricity were to go out, it would still run for a little bit to can maintain air circulation. But connected to that is a small little case that says, I believe it's Senrico. Hold on a second. Data shard case. Cyberpunk. What's the name of the company? It is Fuyutsuki, sorry. No, it's the Ritzy one.
Might ask you to write that one down.
Ciocho, sorry, Ciocho. It's a data company. Basically, the case in question to you would denote it is it's holding a data shard. I'll send a picture of what the case looks like exactly. Hold on.
Sure.
I just have to find it. Got it. People sell this shit. I don't know. Oh, this is a flash drive. That's why. That's kind of cool, actually. So yeah, it's a case, and then like it has like a button you press on the front that kind of causes the interior to pop out, and then seated inside is a data shard.
Okay, so it's just a protective case for one.
Yeah, and data shards are data shards in this methodology are kind of like USB sticks. They are containers for information.
I'd pop the case to make sure there's an actual data shard inside of it. I'm assuming there is.
There is a data shard inside of it. The data
Is there any kind of labeling or marking to it?
Yes. So the data shard.
Sorry to cut you off.
No worries. The data shard in question is not too dissimilar from one that you pulled from Alpha. It's the same make and model, but it doesn't have any kind of graffiti or tagging on it, G or whatnot. However, something that you didn't really notice, but now are kind of going, is that it appears that the corporation that made the shard, RMC, is kind of very tinily labeled on there, and you realize that the card that you had pulled out of Alpha is identical to this one, sans the graffiti, and Raven Microcybernetics is the people who made both cards. That make sense?
That's the manufacturer.
Yeah, the manufacturer and the type of card in question is it's a doll chip. So that means when you install it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would offer to help put the fan back up correctly, so it doesn't look like it's been removed.
Yeah, no tech roll needed.
Since we're taking that.
I wouldn't mind it. But yeah, I would want Leo and or Squints to have a look at this chip.
I think that's Leo's ballpark.
Software, yeah.
I can look at it.
Yeah, you are not a fan of slotting shards that you just picked up.
I wasn't about to.
You can slot it into your cyber deck in a proxy slot, but again, you don't know what it is. If it is very hostile, it could be problematic.
Let's roll the dice.
All right, you slot it in.
Slot it up.
Leo, I do want to point out we're dealing with a situation where men's bodies are being taken over and they're being arrested and carted out of the city.
You slot it
That's a
into
wet dream.
your cyber deck, and when you plug it and hit it in, this card comes with just two files. Two simple files. One is an operations file, and one is a data file. The operations file is titled Silent Octopus, and it appears that this shard is a behavioral programming system that would be installed into a full body conversion to actuate a person's mind to the body. Let me explain that in a way that is very easy for everyone to understand. Your brain, if it were a computer, has an operating system. That operating system is human body. I move my fingers because my brain has the software in it to move my fingers. Simple. You put a brain inside of a biopod and you shove it into a robot, it needs that operating system. Otherwise, it's going to be completely confused. It will do shit, but it will not know what's going on. It'll eventually learn, but it will definitely be cyberpsychotic. The shard in question has a behavioral program that makes it so that when installed in a full body conversion unit, the brain understands. Kind of creates a translator language. The data shard's data side is simply the schematics and specifications of the Silent Octopus program. It was denoted in Kenziro's statement, but it seems to refer to one specific element of this unit that is definitely something, Leo, you think is science fiction. Therm optic camouflage. Camouflage that allows you to erase yourself from the visual spectrum, as well as low light, infrared, and magnetic resonance. Or IR. And also IR, yeah, infrared, it's presumed to.
I'll present all that to Kincaid.
Yeah, the cyber deck is able to show it in display.
This is just an operating system? You're not holding somebody's mind in here?
Not as far as I can tell.
No constructs, no AI, nothing like that.
It's got the same code name as Kenzero in that behemoth.
So maybe they are more closely related than I thought. Maybe there's a good reason they're all being transferred together.
Oh, sorry. Roll me an interface roll.
I'm assuming Leo.
Yeah. Success. So the other thing you'd kind of note is just kind of out of curiosity, you check the metadata to see who actually made this chip. It was not made by Adrian Ella. It was made by an individual known as Roger Kynard, who was an employee with Raven Microcybernetics, formerly a Moore E Technologies employee.
Roger Kynard.
Yep. It should sound familiar because it's come up a couple times in Dark Skies, but
I don't often get a chance to watch.
no worries. You'll become intimately familiar soon enough.
Huh.
And I mean that you and Roger Kynard will probably kiss.
Yes.
Sweet.
Do you want this back?
This city's tough on a cop. Hold on to that. I trust you to know what to do with it.
They think I'm joking.
Hide it on your person for now.
Anyway, you've got the card, and you kind of put it back in its protective sleeve, and then put it in your pocket. Grip, what are you doing in this process? I just want to check in with you, and then I'm going to check in with Redtail as well. Is there anything you want to be looking out for, or do you want to just kind of keep at the door just in case somebody comes up behind you?
I think Grip's job is to keep at the door and try and keep his head down, so he's like keeping his face away from the camera.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I imagine like the visor, what is it called that I just got? Opti shield is down, so he's covering his face a little bit more,
Sure. And because we're in kind of like futuristic, the Opti shield can also be kind of just holographic, like the scabs do. Okay. Then Redtail, do you enter into the space and kind of search around as well, or you just kind of?
He enters, and when he sees the old-fashioned camera, he immediately gets paranoid, and he's looking for a hidden camera somewhere else.
Yep. And so you kind of see too, like as they pull out the cart for the laser tape, you can see Netwatch logo on there, and I just want to make sure: is everyone here present familiar with what Netwatch is?
Yes.
Mostly.
Does anybody need
No.
an understanding? Okay. Netwatch is not technically law enforcement. They are above it. Netwatch is responsible for making sure that the net, local, sub, and otherwise, like connected internets, are all safe. They are the cyber police, in the sense that they are like genuinely what we would call cyber police, even though that's not a real thing. They are based out of Australia, if memory serves correctly. They are international. They very much do the bidding of themselves and only themselves, and they make sure that any cyber criminals or net criminals are dealt with and handled by the correct parties who would be kind of in their jurisdiction they violated. Netwatch operates sidelong with NCPD. Netwatch operates sidelong with all of the corporations. Everyone hates Netwatch because, again, it is very much a group of strange individuals and netrunners who are asking questions that are very hard for the layman to answer and kind of like interrogating things that are very much focused on a world that a lot of people don't interact with. But they're also loved by the public because they do that. It's the kind of place where they kind of meet is where the rub is, because they're very esoteric when it comes to their practices. They have very strange mannerisms, and they are also very kind of different than the normal folk. They operate in a very different scope than a regular NCPD officer. They're willing to let a criminal go to kind of catch all of the criminals, or they're willing to kind of ignore the minor transgressions if they don't really matter to the bigger cause of Netwatch. Yeah, they typically are like, wearing black suits and black, leather coats. very kind of secret policey. They also sometimes are seen wearing blue gloves, and they operate individually, in groups, in pairs. It just depends on what you're dealing with. Netwatch.
Okay, cool.
The eventual demise of Leona.
Yep.
And all Netrunners. If you are really searching for other cameras, though, go ahead and make me a perception roll, Redtail. You are sure they're there. So you are searching wildly with that fumble. You are definitely of the opinion that there is indeed
Something else.
something else. Oh, just a really quick note. Squints, you're holding your knife, but you realize that it's in a proxy setup. So Leah wasn't going to get caught out or anything, but you were ready.
Yeah, no, I was worried when he just goes click, and I was like, oh no.
KK got a 33 on the perception, so you notice that Squints is as he's playing with the doll chip, Squints is the EMP knife. He's ready to fucking.
I was considering having a finger ready on the trigger.
Just pointing the overture right into his face. Okay.
I don't want to have to do this.
Sorry, Leo, buddy.
Sorry, I got another character brewing already. We're good.
I did warn him.
Kynard is spelled with a Y. I just noticed that in the chat. Sorry. And if you do a quick library search on him, there's strangely common evidence or information on Hungry's database, as well as Regina Jones's database and Delphi's database regarding kind of just open information that's available. I'll post.
You want a library search roll on that?
No, not needed.
Oh, it's available. You said okay.
Yeah, this is fresh. So this would be from Kang Tao data files that were kind of scrubbed by fixers, and specifically tracked out to Regina Jones.
Okay.
Notifications. Sorry, I got a hold of this template and I kind of went wild with it. It's really cool.
It's neat looking.
It's from the video game.
It's like I'm in the video game.
Roger Kynard, Raven Microcybe, formerly, Dynalar, not Moore E-Tech. His boyfriend was Moore E-Tech. He is a cybernetics specialist. His reason for termination from Raven Microcybe is loss of sensitive corporate data. Roger Kynard lost a data shard with Dynalar/Kang Tao data, including schematics for Raven Microcybe's Silent Octopus FVC unit and top secret proprietary information regarding Kang Tao optical camouflage systems. Roger Kynard's attempt
What could that be?
To use outside corporation means to reacquire the data shard, but upon recovery, the shard was marked with metadata denoting it had been copied in full. Roger Kynard met with human resources at Dynalar and was terminated from his employment before Kang Tao Intel/Sec was able to question him. A team led by Operative Lux Lee has been tasked with recovering Roger Kynard for questioning. Apparently, this is information that is on Regina Jones's to-do list, because fixers kind of sometimes broadcast what they're handling if it's not too horrible subject matter, and she is looking for Roger Kynard. If you focus in a bit more, you would come to note that she has hired a team of individuals earlier today, this morning, and that team consisted of a tech named Rocco, a cyberpunk named Thorn. Everybody roll a d10.
I knew that.
You don't need to roll if you know,
2.
and you want to know. Kincaid, for some reason,
Yeah,
you
you
paid attention to Billy Guillotine when he was talking about cool rockers, and Diamond Gunk is a band It's a street chrome band. They're very big in Watson and like Toad and Tans and shit. Thorn is the lead singer of the band Diamond Gong. And Redtail, you know Thorn. I don't know if you've ever been on a job with Thorn before, but you've definitely probably had him in your offices. Some fixer or another has sent him your way. I'm sure of it. And then Grip, no idea. Must be some new guy. You listen to old shit like Samurai, and fucking, other kind of chrome bands from like the time of the Red. And then, yeah, Squints, you're too young.
Care about that old people music.
Old people being like 30-year-olds, and then the 60-year-old is like young people music. We're hitting them from both sides. Sorry.
Is there any information regarding, or you weren't done listing the cyberpunks?
The two other individuals, there's an individual named Alex, who appears to be a street punk as well, although another reputation role, I think. No, that wouldn't. And then a member of the Mox gang named Vix. They are apparently looking for him right now.
Okay, so no like confirmation of that. Reading what I just read, I would ask Leo if such metadata was on this chip. If this is the original or the copy, if he can glean.
Talk about the one I have right now, or are you handing me another one?
Is this the copy or is this the original? Just out of sheer curiosity, I don't know if it would matter.
Can I tell? I think that this is the original.
With your interface, you can tell that this is a dupe, but it is not the only dupe. There must have been multiple copies made. At least 2, and probably less than 30.
By someone named Primetime.
Perhaps.
It's all coming back to me. These names.
Yeah, you were at Nitro's birthday party.
Yeah.
You're the one who stole the shirt.
Yep, and duped it the first time.
Yep.
Neat. Is he telling me any of this, that this is a duplicate in the amount of
I tell you it is. Yes.
Ooh, that's a fun question. Yeah, your interface is good enough, I think, especially this far out. You would note that Roger Kynar was the one who extracted the original information. It does appear that a person, very subtle trace, a netrunner named Lamplighter, or not Lamplighter, Primetime, was the one who duplicated this specific card. And again, I would say it looks like there was a total of 3 copies. The original, this copy, and another copy where you don't know where it is.
So there are 3 copies of the same dull chip. That's ultimately what this is. That is an operating system for a full body conversion. For a brain to acclimate to a full body conversion. Is what this thing is, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's not all the pieces, though. I don't see how that connects exactly. Would this... I'm just sort of picking Leo's brain at this point. Would this be utilized for G or someone like G to do what they have been doing to take over other people?
I don't think so, but I mean, I'm not 100%.
Out of character, that's the impression I'm getting, that this isn't necessarily the way he's mind controlling or whatever.
Sorry, hold on. Very astute point. I see, Daniel, why you said you think this is the original, and you're right. I do have it in my notes that yes, this is the original card. This is the Raven Micro Cybernetics card. I stated that.
Yeah, because we gave it to him at the end of that.
Correct. You gave it back to Roger at the end of the gig, and then Regina got a copy, and Primetime had a copy. Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it.
I don't know who Primetime is.
They recovered the copy from Regina after Roger got it back, and he kept his original copy. I understand. Yes, this must be the original card. And in fact, in my notes, yes. And with your check, I definitely told you incorrectly in the initial bit. I apologize. That's my fault. I have it all lined up. All my ducks are in a row. This was the original chip. The type of chip that it is on is specifically a doll chip. So this would be a behavioral skill chip, effectively. And in a mechanical sense when it comes to Cyberpunk Red. And it would aid you in your full body conversion if you were to have this specific FBC. You were to be installed, rather, into the specific FBC.
Correct, but if you don't have that, it doesn't take over your body.
Right. And your copies, or sorry, not your, Primetime's copies would not be as efficient as the original because they are not on the doll chip. They were done on just regular data shards.
Roger. Does that answer your question?
I'm not sure. I don't know why Adrian Ella would have this. Then again, he was under some kind of mind control. So maybe he doesn't realize he had this. There's something big picture I'm missing here.
You could always break out that Kin Zero guy and shove it in him and figure it out. Mm-hmm.
Well, if we could break out that Kid Zero guy, we could just break out Adrian Ella. I don't think the robot samurai is the ideal target.
I think
That
I just
doesn't
want to be
sound fun.
friends with him.
I mean, it'd be cool to be friends with a robot samurai. I'll tell you that straight up. I have Adrian Ella's mail, and we have that tape.
2 packages, 11 pieces of rather regular mail, and then the tape. Do you want to leave the apartment?
I don't know that we're getting any other leads. I would ask Grip if he thinks he could get back in here easily, the way he came.
Absolutely.
If we want to bring that tape back.
And I could easily come back and get it or walk it out now. They won't be none the wiser.
Cool. I'd say arbitrarily we would want to get that tape back by like 11 p.m. to beat whatever tape changer schedule we have.
Want me to walk it out here now? Holds out a hand.
I think Squints has it.
Holds out a hand.
Yeah, I'd hand it over.
You should give him the chip too.
Well, that's Leo had that.
Yeah.
Leo was working.
Leo
with
has
chip.
the chip. Squints has the
Yeah.
laser tape.
Yeah, I have
Want
the
me
laser
to
tape.
Get both of these things out of here.
I'd leave that up to each of them.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. I'll hand it over.
Pocket them both. Face is still covered. Sneaks out through the roof.
He's got a little ninja mask on.
Okay.
On a massive body.
You guys descend down the elevator, come out. You aren't in any way, stopped or molested by the receptionist, and you're allowed to exit without issue. Kincaid, once outside, like I said, you parked a bit away from here at a parking garage. It's a little bit of a walk away. Everybody else arrived here in public transportation because I don't think any of you have a car. I think Redtail probably got dropped off at best.
I volunteered after the fact that I drove Squints
Okay, that's fine.
because he showed up as we were getting here.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. You had him locked in the trunk. It took him a second to figure it out. He got out and then just ran over. Yeah, that's fine.
It was a test. I want to make sure he can survive in these tough city streets.
It's real business.
Block down the street to the tram station.
Grip, as you're kind of like making your way across the rooftops rather, you realize that going back down the same way would probably be a bit of a problem. It does look like heading towards that parking garage, you could probably get onto it, but it will require a bit of a grapple gun or grapple hand situation. Do you want to kind of head that way as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So this pass, for whatever reason, you kind of come to you kind of come at it at a different angle. It seems that as you're kind of making your way to the parking garage, the normal way you came, Kincaid, a firefight breaks out up ahead, and you can see that police is kind of engaging with it and kind of dealing with that up ahead. And you know that you as a group are, superheroes. Just kind of, you'd get in the way if you were to kind of get into that situation. So you kind of turn off and head down a different pathway that leads you kind of underneath that overpass, that short overpass I mentioned, and kind of into the area I had mentioned is kind of a bit more seedy, a little bit more homeless occupied and trash covered. I'm going to post a picture here after I stop the music. Bear with me here. I'm going to try to post a picture here. I have stopped the music. And kind of from an up angle, it looks about like... Did it show?
Yeah.
It's a video.
Yeah.
That's new.
Oh, we've been doing that for a while.
No, I've never like zoomed in on it and it like produced itself in a player. Is why I bring it up. It's strange.
Yeah. So this is the space that we're looking at. You're going to be coming at this area from the kind of top left area. And as you're kind of coming to this area, Grip, your perspective is pretty close to what we're looking at. You're on a building that's kind of on the eastern side of this map and getting ready to kind of descend down through a series of fire escapes and the like, and kind of make your way to the parking garage. The parking garage is south of here. That metal box that's kind of present there is an old security station that was used for the parking garage, but hasn't been used for that for some time. And that kind of space with the road dividers on it, and kind of the green corrugated roof, that space is, it looks like it's just been built there piecemeal. I'm going to place your tokens on the map. Bear with me here. Grip, you are here. And Kincaid, Redtail, Squints, Leo. So you're kind of coming at this space. The grid line's a little too big. Hold on. Or too bright. There we go. So you're coming at this space, and as you're kind of approaching this building here, you can hear what sounds like yelling. It sounds like a woman and a man are kind of yelling inside of the space. Over here, there are a couple of individuals who look like gangers, nondescript, nothing crazy about them, just and no specific markings gang-wise. They're either some sort of poser gang, some like very small booster gang, or they could be scabs. You can't be sure. And then, yeah, some sort of fight or altercation is happening inside of this building here as you're kind of making your way around the corner. Do you ignore?
Doesn't really sound like our issue.
I hate ignoring this.
Say, White Knight, guys, come on. Let's go.
I don't even know what's going on. Like, it's really not any of our business.
I mean, it's on my way.
And
I would want to investigate.
Sure, just to kind of give you an idea.
And my voice broke, so I'm extra square.
If you see the left side, like how there's like the trash, and you see those pillars there. Can you see those? Okay.
Yeah.
To give you kind of a feel of how that works, that's the overpass coming up over.
Okay.
So it's kind of like an on-ramp is more kind of what we're looking at here.
That's dope.
So yeah, as you kind of move towards that door, you would see a man and a woman inside of the space. The woman appears to be wearing kind of almost like Ripperdoc or like the med tech type gear, and her hands are covered with blood, and her yelling seems to be kind of very aggressive, not so much defensive once you get close enough. At a distance, it sounded a bit shrieky, but as you kind of get closer, it's a little bit more like jagged and pointed towards the individual, like calling him names, is what you think is happening, but she is speaking in Russian. And then the guy is kind of back against the wall. Here, hold on. Change layer.
This is happening inside this building?
Yeah,
Okay,
and you can see like right into it when you come around to the front because the door is pretty open. And he's
Okay,
kind
do
of
you
like,
want me to be there-ish?
yeah, wherever you want.
Okay.
So she's kind of like not at the door, but like close to it. And then he is kind of like in the corner, and it looks like there's a lot of blood coming from wounds on his chest. His shirt's kind of popped open, and he's like kind of looking up at her with like a panic look, and his yelling is a bit more frantic. With that said, she doesn't even notice you folks. She's just she's like locked in, and as you kind of are watching her, her hand goes out to the side, and you can see that she's holding like a shaving razor, like the straight edge razors, in her hand, like the flip ones, the really cool barber razors.
Looks like self-defense to me. She was just defending herself. We should keep going.
I think it's an emergency surgery is what's happening there.
Grip, you're about four stories up. If push comes to shove, you could rappel down. Angle wise, you don't have a shot on them, just like scoping it out with your eyes. But you feel like you could probably you can kind of see where she's at, and you think you could shoot through the cover if like the ceiling, roof, corrugated sheet on top.
So I guess if I see the rest of them approaching, I'll get a good angle on like the corner of this building.
Okay. Yeah, once
But
you pass
just,
forward
like-
a little bit, it'll kind of drop out the
Yeah.
wall
Yeah,
behind you.
I think, and just like another message to Kincaid, may have a shot, not clean.
Okay.
Yeah, hold.
Yeah, as the yelling continues, like there's definitely a change in like the audio pitch in the space as a couple of cars kind of zip over the road above you. It kind of creates this kind of deafening sound inside of the space, which like lets you know that the people who are living here, in these kind of residences, because most of the spaces around you are residential kind of apartments, are probably not well-to-do. And this being this close to the Corpo Center, it's like you're pretty sure that these is like the grunt workers of the corporations, like mailmen, fucking, people who work low tier that have been given this kind of space, and some of them might not have made it and are living outside. But
Yeah.
she's got a razor blade, his blood on it, and that guy's kind of like, arguing. Do you just watch and wait, or are you interjecting?
I'm interjecting. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
She turns over.
Are you okay?
She turns around and kind of looks back at you, kind of confused, and then says something in Russian, which again you don't understand. And then she kind of stops, and then she says, "Fuck off, pig."
You heard her.
I'm not a cop.
You said you were displaying your badge. It's the only reason I said what I said. Back in the hotel.
Did? Oh, back in the hotel, I did. Yeah, okay. Do you need help? Is he okay?
He's like, "Oh, help me! And then she kind of turns around and looks at him and just kind of swipes the razor blade across him, and you can see kind of like red streak across like his upper shoulder. And he kind of, oh, you bitch! And she's like, I cut you again, but in Russian, so you don't understand what she's saying.
Sure. I get the context that she's threatening to cut him again. To cut
with
you
the
again.
razor blade.
Hey.
As you kind of like, yell out to help and all of that, a couple cars pass by. Squints and Leo, as you're kind of approaching, I need the two of you to make perception rolls.
Ooh, I don't see
Squints,
nothing.
you're kind of focused on the situation, and like, something about her is enamoring to you. I don't know what it is. Like, older lady.
I like the angry women.
Very
He likes mean Russian women.
I like mean ladies.
She's very bossy. Are you just role playing yourself?
Hurt me.
But Leo,
Move fast.
But Leo,
no.
you're more attentive. The three gangers that are kind of just over there smoking cigarettes, looking cool, have turned their attention over to you, and it does look like they are like behind the little kind of little barricades that they're near. It does look like they're pulling weaponry.
Hey guys, we don't need any of that. We're just passing through.
Who the fuck are you?
Persuade roll.
the middle guy will say in response, "Who the fuck are you?" But go ahead and make your persuasion roll. You said we don't need any of that. Is this like a persuasion to just like be chill and like what's the
Yeah, we don't need a fight here.
again? What I'm saying is like they're pretty set in their ways. So I need a rub, or I need a hindrance. Like I need something that's going to keep me from caring, like financially or like beneficial to me, or like a threat on my life that makes me consider not fucking with you. Because just saying we don't need anything, oh, you're right, we don't, is definitely not gonna work in any reality, I don't think.
Hey, we don't need any of that. It will end really poorly for you.
Do you
Like the whole tone just completely switches, from
You
the
kinda
passive to the...
pop up the cyber deck on your arm and kind of look at them like, it'll end poorly for you? Okay, I like that. They will kind of move their guns down and they will fuck off. They go eastbound. And then she kind of looks back at you and she says, "You're still fucking here? Get that bacon grease pumping. Get the fuck out." And he's
Can't let you murder this guy in my line of sight. Drop the knife.
I'm not gonna fucking kill him. What the fuck are you talking about? If I wanted to kill him, he'd be dead by now. And he looks up at her and it's like, oh. And then he looks at you pleadingly, please.
I'm stepping up to him.
We don't need to worry about this one.
You said you're stepping up.
Leo, you gotta try for all of them. I'm stepping in and I'm grabbing her.
Okay, go
Or
ahead.
I'll grab the knife.
Make a brawling roll.
Fighting.
I got a 14, so you just nailed it
15.
on the nose, exactly what you needed. So you reach in, you kind of grab for the knife. She kind of makes a play to like kind of lash at you a little bit, and you kind of grab her wrist and kind of pull her back, and you have her in a grab, but you have her in a grab in such a way that the knife is not brandishable. You won't be able to kind of secure the knife away from her until your next action. And since we're kind of the only two that are really fighting right now, unless anybody wants to interject, she's going to attempt to escape the grapple, so brawling again. And she got another 14. So you just need to roll a 15 or better. Okay.
15 again.
So on your next turn, she tries to kind of wriggle out of your way, and then you kind of turn her wrist, kind of force it downwards, and kind of like a gooseneck style kind of grip. She drops the weapon, and you kind of secure her in that grip. And then she kind of, you're going to fucking arrest me? She says.
How many cops do you know that would handle this non-lethal?
Sorry, hold on a second. Pause for a second. She says, I have to get the accent right because I got it wrong just then. I know I was going for Russian.
But remember what I said, so I don't have to repeat it.
Right.
I don't do 2 takes.
How many people? Fair enough. I try to do it on one, but I didn't get I fucked up the Russian and made it sound French right. So I was trying to go back and do that, but in my brain I've only got actual Russian and I'm doing it too correctly. So I fucked it all up. And the only person who probably got that joke was Zach, and that's fine.
Lady, your audience, man.
She looks straight at you and says, and then, okay, fine, I won't kill him. I'm not going to kill him. I was just trying to. He owes me money, and he goes, I paid you back. I did. And then you can see in his eyes that he's lying. He does owe her money. like when she says that, and she says, I was going to take his implant out of him.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah. I'm a bit of a ripper.
You're a bit of a ripper?
I'm no professional.
As a hobbyist, you're a ripper?
You got to have hobbies.
I agree. I usually recommend train sets or,
Well, you
hiking.
obviously look like you're a big fan of old style cop films. Your fucking weird hat.
Okay, I didn't come here to be insulted. I came here to stop somebody from being stabbed.
Milady, I apologize. Damn it, John.
I'll quit. I'll straight up quit.
Don't you dare insult my
I'll
fedora.
stop coming here.
You son of a bitch. She will say, she's going to get the implant out of him. She's going to get her money out of him. That's what she's trying to do.
How much does he owe you?
He owes me $1,500. The implant's only
How
worth
much is that
$1,000.
implant worth? Well, I recommend getting with an actual ripper doc to remove that safely. I'd hate to bring you in on a murder charge for trying to collect.
You come up behind Kincaid and kind of look inside, and it looks like she's got a small little clinic. She could do Mullen clinic shit in here if she's skilled. She has the tools. It definitely looks like she's kind of going about it the more brunt way with the razor blade, but it would work just to cut out the implant, especially if it is what you think it is. Looking at him, it seems that she was gunning for a berserk implant that would be installed in the chest. Muted. Say something? Can't hear you.
He's working on it.
Audio. Oh, you're muted in Discord. It says you're muted in Discord.
I wasn't. I was changing settings. Hello.
Hey, I can see you.
Hello.
he's gonna pop his head into the room. Is there a problem, officer? Did you do the 100-pound Russian woman?
So you would see that her setup is. Did you hear me while I was talking or no?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah. So again, it looks like her setup's fine. I mean, she may not be super skilled, but you're pretty sure that she had the right of it. It's just she was going for the little bit more of a brute force method. Medtechs who don't care about their patients, or if their patients are corpses, may just draw a razor blade out and precisely slice it out.
Nice setup.
She looks at you.
Brutal.
Oh, okay. He's being brutal. She says that she's still in kind of the lock grip.
I'll let her go if it's a legit situation.
Yeah, Red Tail.
I assumed somebody was getting murdered.
It's legit. Not the way I would handle it, but...
She says, okay. So she looks at him. I'm taking the implant. And he's like, and then looks at the cop. You're letting her do this to me? I already paid her back. You did not fucking pay me back, she says, pointing at him very sternly. And he's like, okay, I didn't pay you back. Just give me another 6 months. I will get you the money. She shakes her head.
Months.
I've already let him go. He's owed me since the summer of 2077, this fucking asshole. I told him I get the Berserk implant, and he's being a piece of shit about it. He says, okay, but don't cut me anymore. Just take it up normal. She kind of shakes her head and looks down at the razor blade like she wants to pick it up and use it. Redtail, do you step in at all in any way, or...
He's gonna open one of his med bags and pull out some clean scalpels, and
hand them to
hand
her.
them to her.
She goes, "Oh, these are fucking nice. What is this? Ariel Meatwagon shit? Nice jacket." And she's got new razor blades, and he's like, "Oh shit!" The guy in the corner. If nobody interferes, Redtail, go ahead and make me a surgery roll. You're not operating. You are simply watching her operate.
Serving.
And if she fucks up, you're like, drop in before he like dies of blood loss or anything.
What is that under? Just curious.
Surgery?
Yeah.
Surgery is a skill you only get if you have med tech as a skill.
Okay, I was just curious. Because I had paramedic, but I didn't know what the difference was.
Yeah, first aid and then paramedic. So first aid is big general shit. Paramedic is like a little bit more extreme shit, and then med techs get a skill that splits off into 3 different skills, which is pharmaceuticals, surgery, and cryo.
Okay, I was just
I
curious.
like how you have your maker stuff.
Yeah,
Tech and Ripper are very similar.
Yeah, it doesn't split into 4 different skills for tech, but it does give you 4 benefits. Yeah. So surgery, with that, you see her work, and she does a pretty good job. You only have to correct her a couple of times. And she cuts out the Berserk implant and bandages him up well enough. It doesn't look like she anesthetic. There was no pain relief on him. But if you help, you can decide to let it go raw, as she seems to be performing it. Or if you want to let him get some pain relief to make him more... Yeah, you give him some anesthesia and some.
You've got I just jab him in the leg real quick.
You kind of look at her and kind of nod and like pull out of your bag and go, and then like gesture to the cop and then like hit him with the pain relief, so he's not screaming for the whole thing. But eventually she gets the Berserk implant out and she looks at it and then she kind of goes, "I'm assuming you probably aren't interested in buying it, right? I don't give a shit about this thing. I'm just going to flip it." For those who are curious,
yeah, I don't recall what those are.
Berserk implants go into your neuroport. They 2d6 humanity loss, 1,000 cost. Install at a clinic, like here. It is a powerful.
Not here.
No, we're going somewhere else. It's a powerful adrenaline rush that's issued on command. You activate it as an action. You then ignore the effects of seriously and mortally wounded for 1 minute, with one exception. Mortally wounded characters must still make death saves. After the activation period expires, the implant cannot be activated again for 1 hour.
Rip already has one.
Yeah.
Ask her how much she wants for it.
She says 1,000.
For 700.
You can roll persuasion, but the DV is going to be pretty high on this one. She's again trying to get her. She's trying to get her pound of flesh. He owes her 1,500.
That's true.
Yeah.
9. Nope. So no. Buddy. All right.
She's very adamant about the 1,000. So you say no to her?
I don't know. I think Siege is still looking for one, so yeah, I'll buy it for 1,000.
Okay. Siege does already have one, but yeah.
Does he have one already? Oh, okay. No.
You can flip it.
You got it.
I can flip it what? The same price? That's the cost of it.
What are you gonna say, Chody?
Can I help upgrade it at all, or mess with it, or make it better with my stuff?
Yeah.
The compression perk, extended warranty perk.
You do that.
Right. I'll buy it. I'll give it to him.
You do that at the. You will do that at the point of entry. So yeah, you kind of upgrade the cyberware for the person, and that's why the humanity loss is affected. because you're making it more streamlined with their personal body. So once you have a person you're going to install it in, that's when you can start upgrades on the tech.
I would let Redtail know. Just say, hey, if you need help and want some help installing on someone, I can maybe
That's
help
an
it go a little
upcharge.
smoother. Yeah.
I'll take it. 1,000.
Okay, drop the eddies.
Just
You have a berserk
just for-
implant on your person, not in your person. Grip, you're trained on the whole situation. It's going a little bit long. After a fashion, you kind of just decide, I'll go down. And you put the sniper rifle back on the shoulder and down.
I was, before he said anything, I was going to message Grip. I was like, are you in the market for a berserker?
I just got one installed tonight.
Because he's the only person I thought of.
Yeah. No, Grip's already got one.
Kincaid might
Makes
think
one
about
better.
Yeah, they could make it better. And then take the one you have out and put the one they just got off the street and put it in you with upgrades. But yeah,
First things first, we're gonna check. We're gonna make sure this motherfucker's intact before we do anything.
for sure. Yeah, he's fine. He's breathing. He's talking. He's conscious. With the anesthetic and the pain relief, there, he was able to kind of make his way through it.
I don't think he was talking about the patient. I think he was talking about the thing he just bought.
Oh yeah, it's Gucci.
I think I'm somehow the only person that gives a shit about anyone in the city.
About that guy specifically, yeah.
I guess about that guy
pay
specifically.
relief.
That's not fair.
Yeah,
you all
Red-
care
Red
about
Tail
at
helped.
least one
Nice.
other person.
Redtail helped, gave a good blade and local anesthetic. I mean, come on, Redtail's
Sure.
a pretty cool guy. You make your
But
walk
being a debt
back.
for 2,000. Okay, you'll be fine.
You make your walk back to the Kincaid's car. At that point, yeah, it's later in the day on the 15th. Before you kind of set off, does anybody follow up on the Regina Jones contract for Kynard?
Yeah, Redtail's gonna go.
Yeah, you'd said in the DM you'd mentioned that you were going to reach out to them. So what you would learn is that Kynard has been secured, was passed off to Regina Jones at a location. Gosh, I can't remember exactly where. It was up in Watson, though. Oh yeah, it was the metro station at Farrier Street about 20 minutes ago. It's up in Watson. And it is... Hold on. I'll snap ping you to it. Farrier Street.
Too far?
Pretty far, yeah. And what with it being the afternoon and you being kind of near Corpo, it's going to take you a little while to get out of the city. At least an hour.
I guess I'll just shoot a message to Regina asking if
Oh,
he's
okay.
available.
And then she would call you.
Okay.
What the fuck are you wanting to do with Kynard? What's your deal? What's your biz, Redtail? You and I are on good terms right now, but it's going to change real quick depending on how you answer this question. You're coming in kind of weird audio-wise. A little better.
Oh,
That's way better.
okay. He's basically just going to drop that he's investigating.
No, just talking
Adrian
character.
Ella.
Talking character.
Does the name Adrian Ella ring a bell?
Doesn't. Who the fuck is that?
Apparently he's buddies with that guy you got. Found some interesting stuff related to him.
When you say interesting stuff, are you talking about...
Would rather not say over call.
Yeah. You're probably right. Okay, meet me at... meet me... Where are you at right now?
Near Corpo Center.
Ugh. No good. Head over to Vista Del Rey. There's a small noodle shop underneath an apartment building over that way. The apartment building's called Brick and Mortar. Meet me there.
He's gonna grab.
So Brick and Mortar. Red Tail, you tell them.
Let Kincaid. Immediately let Kincaid know. Gotta lead. Noodle shop. You know, he's gonna give him an address, like where he's going.
The address is Leo, or sorry, not Leo. Leo's friend, and also Quince's address.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
The Brick and Mortar Apartments is where they live.
Okay. So we're going.
Drive over there, Kincaid. It sounds like a very weird meet, but not the weirdest.
Yeah, who is this? What is this?
Regina Jones is a fixer. She deals mostly in Watson. Everybody would know her. She is a producer and one of the main elements of a show called Hogwatch. She acquires cyber psychos.
Red Tail's basically gonna whisper in your ear. She has Roger Kaynard.
And would we know that she had? Didn't her and Hungry have issues back in the day, or is that different game, different?
No, they never had
Okay.
problems. They were
Plenty of people had issues with Hungry. Hungry's no longer our problem.
Right. Well.
Yeah, they never had issues. No, they're just fixers that operate in different sections. They use a lot of the same pool.
Okay.
Okay. You head over to visit.
Yeah, if he wants me to go meet with this person, yeah, I'll come with.
You live in this apartment building, so there's a parking space for you, but you don't own a car, so you pull out. You're like happy to pull out your.
No strangers parking it.
You pull out your apartment key and you kind of like hit it in the parking garage and tell Kincaid where to park, and he does, and sure enough, there's nobody in your spot. There's like a little trash on it, but you kind of just pull over, like bags of trash. You just kind of hit them with your bumper. You get out. You head in. This noodle shop is basically it's a hole in a wall. It's probably about 30 feet deep to the register. And like the ordering counter, there are small little like wooden tables with chairs that appear to have like old logos for Buck-a Slice, like kind of stamped into the wooden back panels. It smells of spices. It smells of ramen. It smells of curry. The space is very just vibrant in its sense. There is nobody else in the place besides what appears to be 2 working staff in the back and a woman seated at a table that has 1 or 2 total seats. And when she sees you enter in, Red Tail, and sees the people behind you, she goes, "What the fuck?" And you can kind of see her kind of have an annoyed look on her face.
Sorry.
Who the fuck are these assholes? She looks at Grib. You're one of Hungry's stooges from way back, aren't you?
Surprised people still recognize me from them days.
Well, you've definitely changed a bit. She says, "How's everything up there? You doing good?"
Doing great, actually.
Looks like you're riding the line, but not for me to say. And I'm assuming you put the badge away, or is it still out?
Put it away.
Okay. Who are these other people?
It's a crew I got put together for a different fixer.
Not willing to drop off your fixer's name, I'm assuming?
I don't know if it's necessary. If you need to know, I'll tell you. But
well, I don't know if you folks being here is necessary. I thought I was just talking to the Fox Doctor.
Yeah.
He didn't mention that he set up a one-on-one.
Yeah, he didn't tell us he wasn't bringing friends.
He didn't mention he wasn't bringing friends, or he was bringing friends to me. So, we're kind of in a conundrum here. Cunning like a
Fucking
fox.
foxes, man.
Yeah.
Can't trust
It
them.
shows, I'm gonna try to diffuse. I'm sorry. My fault. Like,
She kind of like leans over her shoulder.
how's Thorn and them doing? I heard they did a job for you.
She kind of shrugs and like leans over her shoulder and in perfect Cantonese says something back to the guy, and then you see her eyes kind of flare red as she's transferring finance, and you see them kind of like wave like okay, sure. And then she kind of looks back at you guys and says to Redtail, Kynard's not for you. I'm not giving you access. Plain as. I thought I'd say that to you to your face. You've done a lot of good work for me. It's not anything personal. But not really something I can allow right now. Got problems. Big Netrunner problems.
Don't we all?
What do you mean, don't we all?
He's gonna shoot her the file of Adrian Elif that we pulled off of LPD. Like this guy.
So what? Some 2-bit fucking crypto punk that probably was trying to make some money off of information he somehow got from Kynard. That fucking piece of shit Netrunner, Primetime, probably made himself a copy and sold it to his finance bros.
Copy of what?
Really fun question. Not gonna answer it, she says, smiling at you.
Fair dues.
Feel like you already know, though.
I'm afraid I might. We found something I haven't fully wrapped my head around in the apartment of Adrianella.
What department do you work for? She says.
Vice. I'll finally put the badge down.
She shrugs. Sound like a fucking cop.
Likewise.
She shrugs.
Looks like one too. It's fucking annoying.
She shrugs. She
Lights a
kind of
cigarette.
raises her hand. She says, "Long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away." She looks back at Redtail. So you got the extra copy, or do you got the original? I need to know.
Huh?
Is it the original copy or is it a spare?
That's not my expertise. He's gonna turn to
She almost immediately kind of locks in on Leo. Like,
This is why you brought 5 people?
duh, that's the Netrunner.
I don't really know. I just brought him with me.
I just brought him with me like that.
I got a guy for that.
Hey, I got a guy for that. Like I am not
Andy's here.
on these data chips. I don't know if it's the original. Ask this fucker.
Don't look at me. I don't have anything.
Okay. Fair enough.
Canonically, Grip does have the fucking thing.
Yeah, I told the truth.
He's the one who scanned the motherfucker.
She
He
kind
knows
of
what's wrong.
says, "Good,
Holy
fine,
goddamn shit.
fair enough," and kind of looks at each one of you like, kind of sideways, and she says, "It's whatever. If you don't want to play ball, then we don't have to play ball. Totally fine. But just off of suspicions and hunches, I presume you got the shard. Presume you got one of them. It's either the OG one, or it's the copy Primetime made when he made me a copy."
And when she says shard, oh yeah, this thing. Pulls it out.
She looks at it, and her eyes kind of like narrow. The original. How the fuck did you have that?
I was hoping you'd be able to help us figure that out. This was hidden in a bathroom vent pretty well inside the apartment of one Adrianella.
Yeah.
Currently being held in NC prison.
So this,
Expected due for transfer next week.
this isn't a great spot to have a huge conversation about this. She kind of looks over her shoulder, and you would see that the two people back there are kind of paying attention to the scenario. But you would also notice, Grip, that they have shotguns like on the counters, and like when she said what she said, she was basically saying to kind of like let off. When you entered in, they apparently were kind of ready to go. She would kind of get up, kind of walk out the door, and says, kind of looking back at you, "You'll probably look like a tourist group following me. But might as well." And then she'll kind of go outside and go right into the apartment building.
I take it that means follow her, yes?
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. Does everybody follow her like a tourist group?
I would
Yep.
take out a camera and take a picture.
Just where did this oh god, what are those stupid shirts called? Why
Hawaiian?
Hawaiian shirts? Yeah, why is my brain not working? It's got a very intricate pattern. You head inside the apartment, and this isn't the first time you've been in here, Squins. It's your apartment building. You go up to the second floor, and you see like the hallway to your apartment, and then there's the staircase that goes up to the main apartment, and you can see her making her way up to that. There are only a total of 5 apartments in this building. The 2 on your
Have I seen her before?
no,
I mean,
never.
okay.
The 2 on her side or your side, which would be you and oh my god, who's Leo's friend?
The gamer guy?
Yeah,
Gort?
Gort. And then on the other side, there are 2 other apartments. One of them is empty, and then the other one you have never seen the tenants for. The apartment building upstairs, the only thing you know about it is it belongs to a very important fixer. And she walks up
Okay.
and opens the door.
I look in awe, like, oh wow.
This must be her.
Yeah.
She goes inside.
Who is she?
Regina Jones. She goes inside, and inside the space is like lightly furnished. But the first thing that you see when you enter in is a turret mounted, pointed straight at the door, with a Militech, Mark 31 HMG heavy machine gun pointed at the door, laser detection light. It looks like it's keyed that it doesn't shoot you to death when you enter in. And she kind of enters into the space and moves over to the window. The curtains are drawn, and she kind of walks over to it, kind of slightly opens the blind a little bit, the curtain rather, kind of looks out for a second, and then lets it like fall back to closed. Turns and looks over her shoulder at you, slowly spins, and says, back last year, I had a edge runner crew, not unlike yourselves, go and acquire a card that Mr. Kynard lost at a bar when he was flirting with another corporate individual. Don't know who, but his significant other, main squeeze, fuck buddy, I don't know what their relationship was. He wasn't very happy about it, and he wanted the card for himself. Gig was easy for the edge runners. Go up to the bar, Bouncing Benny's up in Watson, find the cards, boost it off of them. After the clep, just head over to a nondescript parking lot where Kynard would be waiting, pass the shard off to him. Easy 1K. Didn't go that way, because Kynard was followed to the meet location by his ex, and he had hired some edge runners. My edge runners fought their edge runners. Some of them got away. One of them was a fucking cop. It seems to kind of say that pointedly at Kincaid. And some of the folks on my side got pretty banged up. Kynard took a bullet to the forehead. Would have died if they hadn't got him to a Ripper Doc ASAP. Don't know if that was you or not. Looks at Redtail. Can't remember.
No, I believe that was Buzzard. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace indeed. But Sitch is pretty simple from my perspective. You got the OG card. The one he actually lost. somehow he got it mixed up with Primetime's shard, or maybe Primetime gave him the fake. Adrian must be friends with Roger, or maybe they're fucking. I don't know. It was a situation I've been kind of looking into to try and get this card back, or at least the data back, because unfortunately my copy was fragged out. I had a bit of a situation last year. Well, last month. Trying to save a cyber psycho who had a rogue AI installed inside of them. Burned out my office's entire systems. Been trying to rebuild ever since. My understanding is that this chip has been used before. I mean, the data on it. Like, they actually have a test project. And if what I understand this to mean, it's a person who, if they are what I think they are, cyber psycho, they're quite deadly. They can be anywhere they want to be, and nobody would ever know.
You got a name for them?
I don't know the test subject. I believe it was
Yeah.
Ken Zero. I don't have much.
Yeah, we know where he is.
I don't have much data besides a arrest warrant. But whether they picked him up or not, I can't be sure. Kind of hard to find a guy who can just disappear. You said you know where he's at? Where?
Potentially.
Where?
This one loves talking. We have reason to believe he's currently being held along with Adrian Ella in NCPD prison. South of here. West of here. East of here.
I've got friends in NC. Do you know where they're being held? Gen Pop? ISO? Solly?
ISO.
Fuck.
You think they'd have something like that on them without it being an ISO?
I mean, not to put it
something that can literally turn invisible.
not to you can switch combat cyberware off, no problem there. But again, NC is not exactly filled with goddamn brainiacs. NCPD, for that matter, is a bunch of. Anyway, insults aside,
I've heard it all.
I've got a guy. I've got a contact in NC prison. I've got one on the inside, and I've got one that works. What are we trying to do?
Cards on the table. You know, information that we'd have rather kept closer to our chest.
You know?
This Ella character. Are you at all familiar with a situation regarding an individual named G?
Yeah, G's my biggest fucking problem right now, actually.
We might be scratching one another's backs here shortly. I have reason to believe Ella is a point of contact or one of a more useful puppets of this G character. I've spoken to the man once before when he was kidnapped by scavs to be utilized as part of their experiments. I thought I interrupted it. Turns out he has been utilized already. Off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly what he's being charged with. It was some kind of like sedition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the connection is between him and 10-0 and why he has this chip. If he is somehow related or in league with your Kynard. That's why we wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, so I don't know the connection either. It's possible that they're fucking. I mean, that's a pretty common situation with kind
People
art.
fuck.
Kind art especially, and it's really aggravating how many times it's come up. But
Not my business necessarily.
I guess when you switch hit, you're always swinging.
Sure. You keep bringing it up, lady.
Look, it is the biggest lead I've got, and it's the most direct connect that I have to this Adrianella guy. Is Adrianella hot, and is he bi? Or homosexual?
I'd say modestly attractive. Sexuality, I didn't quite pinpoint. We only spoke for
You would know
an
that he's
hour or
at
so.
least female attracted, because he did get caught out by a chromed up.
That is true. He
working
was
lady.
with like a Mox girl, or just
No, she
no,
wasn't.
no, she wasn't a Mox girl. She wasn't a Mox girl. She was.
She had the look. She had the
you
look.
had a term for it because she had
Joy
she
toy.
had the chromed out look.
Joy toy.
What was it again?
Joy toy.
Joy toy. Sorry to make you say it 3 times.
No worries.
It is funny.
You're probably like, that sounds a lot like Joy Boy, Luffy, One Piece.
No, I genuinely talked over you perfectly in timing when every time you said it, and I'm sorry.
Joy toy. She would say, well, okay, possibly not the case then. But okay. Adrianella
Can't rule it out is what I'll say. They must be connected if this was in his apartment hidden so carefully.
Adrianella is an ISO in NC prison. I can probably get him extracted for questioning. Or for contact with lawyer, unless he's being. You said sedition? No, yeah, there's no chance of that happening. He's fucked.
I doubt he sees a lawyer before he leaves the city.
No, it would have to be a genuine boosting job. How much are you willing to spend on this?
I'm not usually in the market for breaking prisoners out of prison. Forgive me.
Yeah, I'm not usually the type to try and set up such a gig, but I need Adrianella to tell me how he fucking fits into this goddamn puzzle. And I can guarantee you that the side of the puzzle that you're looking at definitely has answers that will help you figure shit out if I can figure out what the fuck is happening with this Adrianella fellow. And
does this chip not cover your fee?
I was about to say, how about an original doll chip with your BC formatting?
Go ahead and make a persuasion roll, Leo. DV's low. DV's 11. But you still have to sell it.
Damn!
Alright. She kind of looks at you. That's quite a bit of finagling you got there. Okay. You give me the doll chip. Or you give me the original chip. And I get you Ella.
Ella A.
You said you had Ken Zero, and he's also inside?
If PD files are correct, yes. The 2 of them plus another are scheduled to be transported out of the city in less than 6 days.
And, most importantly, Spotlight.
Is Adrian in ISO?
Did we not determine that he was, John?
All 3 are in. Yeah.
Yes.
She asked about Ken Zero and where he was.
I apologize. I didn't realize that we were. It's a confusing
topic. And then, sorry. And then she would ask if Adrian is also an ISO, and then you would mention Spotlight, and she'd go, "Oh yeah, he's an ISO for sure." Pretty fucked up shit that he did, and I watched his ass. And you said they're being transported when?
The 21st, 6 a.m.
I can set up a crew
out of NC prison.
I can set up a crew that can do this job for you. I'll plan it out. Give me all the data you have on it if you want to pass it off to me. You said you were working for a fixer. I'm going to need to know that fixer's name if I'm stealing their job, though. Out of character, I just want to make sure mechanically and also narratively and also functionally as the game runs what is being put on the table here. You can continue with this gig as it's been outlined. You are doing it yourself. or you can pass the buck to the Dark Skies people, and I fucking force them to do it.
Is funny.
Say pass the buck.
So we'll discuss this here. What are hangups? I don't want to be involved in actually killing other
Cops.
PD, Max Tech or other cops.
So are the
I
two in the
just
front.
don't want
Yeah.
to. I don't.
And
care
I think we would lose.
fighting Max Tech because of that reason more than anything. Like, I don't care if they die. I just don't know if that's a fight that Grip wants to take on right
I think
now.
there's a decent chance we lose that
I
fight.
will
We just
mention.
don't have- I feel like we don't have enough heavy artillery. You know.
I will mention that no one has so far actually fought Max Tech in a Dark Skies game.
Yeah.
So
And I don't want to be the first ones. Let's.
Closest we've come is that dickhead Arasaka guy.
well,
Yeah.
the closest they came actually was in a narrative beat. John's character, Columbo, basically stood toe to toe with one and said, "Bitch, I am better than you. Get the fuck out of my face." And then the Max Tech agent backed down because he knew he didn't have the jurisdiction.
In the Rhea project stuff, the group that dropped in that took fucking
Oh,
3 hours to fight, were they not equivalent to Max Tech?
Equivalent or greater than.
They were melt picks, yeah.
Yeah, Max Tech is either on par with a Striga or worse than Striga, only slightly. Strigas were
I was
pretty
comparing
top
it to that. I was comparing it to that Arasaka captain that killed Kira.
Captain Kojima. Yeah, he is a pretty badass also, but he's not. I don't think he's not on the same tier as them. His team was primary.
He's below them or above them?
Kojima below Max Tech.
Okay, yeah, no, we're not fighting Max Tech.
That
guy was full of bullshit. That guy was like clockwork bullshit.
This is Zach Wilbur talking here. No, never, ever, no.
Okay, let me roll this out for you. I'll fuck up dice rolls.
No.
I've never once gotten to use my backup roll ability. I'm damn sure not going to be able to do it against Max Tech. Because that'll bring reinforcements to them to shoot me.
Solid point. You are literally the worst person to do that job.
Yeah.
I'm getting shot at. I need backup. All right.
All we do is crimes in this damn game. You're like, yeah, play a cop. It's smart.
We're having fun, by the way. I'm having fun with the cops, so
I'm having fun.
Good. As long as we're having fun, that's the important part.
But yeah, I don't want to have to kill cops, and I don't think we can kill those cops.
Yeah. Agreed.
As cool and visually like gameplay exciting as it is to have, crash their vehicle with, a dump truck or whatever and have a cool firefight. Maybe free the robot samurai to help us fight. Maybe he doesn't help us. That'd be all cool and rad. That could be all cool and rad, but I think we lose that.
I will say it is a better Dark Skies pickup game.
It sounds like something for them to go die to.
Sure. Okay, so then locked in, you guys are passing the buck to Regina. So you're telling Regina who the fixer is, right?
Papio?
Yeah. She would say, "Oh, new guy, huh? Yeah. I'll get in contact with him and see if we can't work something out. I don't like taking jobs from new fixers on the come up, and so far as I've heard, his reputation is pretty sterling. So I don't think he's fucking around with too much crazy shit. Who is he specifically trying to get out? Is it Adrianella, or does he want someone else?
As far as I know, he only wants Ella.
What's his reason? Do you got it? Same as ours or different?
I believe his was different. If anyone remembers.
With stealing data or something.
Yeah, so Ella did a job for Papio.
That's right. It's like a loyalty gig.
Papio's wants him out because, and so she would say at that.
He's his guy.
Oh, so he's the contractor and the job maker? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to contact him. I'm going to work with him, and I'm going to see what we can't do. In the meantime, any information you get regarding this, pass it my way. It'll help out the edge runners I hire to ultimately take on this situation. I will let you know we're probably going to pop the door on that bad boy and kill everybody inside. That's not.
Less I know, the better.
I'm just letting you know. You sleep how you want to sleep, but it's going to be the hard way. I don't think my guy inside is going to be able to give me too much in the way of pulling people out of ISO. And I need 2 of them at least. Might need that third one. Spotlight does have kind of fucked up situations with him going on. She nods her head and says, "All right, well, get the fuck out of my apartment." She would say, just kind of looking at you.
Does anybody send her the data that we got on the Max Tech unit that's going to be escorting them?
Good question. Do you send her all the stuff you have on it, or are you just keeping anything close to the chest?
I'll share it with her.
This guy's just talking.
I am curious what the mail was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you kind of take a gander at it real quick, 10 of the 11 are bills. It seems like he has all sorts of different things going on. A subscription service to a dating site that, if you kind of look into very quickly, you will recognize is for pansexual individuals. The other documents that are present are bills for like municipality, electricity, trash gathering, a shit ton of bills. And then the one letter that is not those things is a letter from Raven Micro Cybernetics. The letter in question is his request for personnel data has been declined. And it specifically seems to denote a ID number or employee ID number. And when you cross-check that with Kynard's information, they are the same. It seems that Ella requested information regarding Roger Kynard, and it was denied. And it appears that he did this while he was an employee. Then there are 2 packages. Package number 1 has a data shard in it, brand new, perfectly sealed. It looks like it was received like probably the day after he got arrested. But it's like still in its like vellum sealing. It is a C8 data shard, and it appears to be the exact same manufacturer as the original shard. So this is not just a data. Yeah, this is not just a data shard that would have been like found or pulled off of because the Primetime didn't have these specific data shards. He had just pretty standard data shards. So he pulled the data. It just when you install it that way, it doesn't plug correctly. It'd be like taking Apple files and putting them onto like a PC USB drive. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then the second package, when you open it, inside it is a. Hold on, checking my notes. It is a Sega Atari Rush Revolution Plus. It seems to have been return address Gort. So the person who sent him that package was Gort.
Oh, I can take that back to him.
All right. Any other business that you want to deal with before the close of the day? This would be the 15th, and it's kind of getting later into the afternoon or evening rather.
Weren't we wanting to get that laser disc back inside of that place, or are we not doing that now?
You gotta watch it first.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, wasn't that the thing?
Sorry, 2 people talking at once. Zach F, what'd you say?
Do we have a way to watch it?
Yeah, Squints has definitely got it back in his garage. He's got he's got
It's
shit.
like 2 floors down.
Yeah, he's literally right here. So yeah, you could watch it right now if you want to. Do you?
I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say we're gonna go watch it.
Okay. When you go down and watch it, it is pretty much completely blank, except for in the initial moments of the video, you see a person walk out of the hallway, so back to the camera, open the door, step out, face the camera for maybe less than like 5 seconds, not even much time, and then shut the door. The individual in
Zoom, enhance.
The individual in question appears to be wearing a white pinstriped shirt, massive amounts of cyberware on the neck, face, sides of the head, and he has a Netwatch employee badge on his shirt. He looks like... bear with me here. He looks like this.
It's Dexter.
He does not look familiar to any of you.
I know.
I
I know this fucking guy though.
The person who looks at it and would be kind of most aware of things, the individual in question appears to be a Netwatch agent. Based on the name card, you're able to pull information. The individual's name, at least front facing, is Bryce Mosley. You don't have much information besides that. But as far as his cyberware goes, it looks really advanced to the tech. It looks insanely scary to the Netrunner. Like, he is mostly cyberdeck, from what you can tell. If you played Phantom Liberty, like, his cyberware is kind of near to or on par with Songbird's crazy shit. Like, military grade, he's ready to fucking dive Cyberman.
with a tie.
With a tie.
The same guy that you dealt with in Pacifica?
It is the same guy you dealt with in Pacifica.
That's where I know him from.
I got nothing.
All right. Any other questions for me then? We'll call it a night.
What
then.
is Leo's target
Huh?
on
Yeah,
the
I
map?
got
What is
I
that?
got one that's related to canon.
Leo's target? That's the guy you killed. I just haven't removed
okay.
it. The guy you hunted down and murdered, the Netrunner for 6th Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one more.
I'm going to go ahead and call it then for this evening. Thanks for watching those that did, and we will see you next Sunday. Possibly slightly different cast, but we'll see. All right, see you then.